up, everybody? Welcome to the MAG1 Mini. We're trying out something a little bit new today. We're gonna have some players that are still quite good, but not quite to the level of our usual Saturday broadcast. And yeah, it'll be fun to see how different things are today. And as well as that, we're doing a quite different format. We're having all best of ones, no best of threes, and we're having double elimination. So in total, we'll be having 6 games today. I believe there are no stakes. We're just doing this to, give some spotlight to all the other players out there. Everybody matters in the Mechabellum community. And of course, that is reflected in how the game is balanced and designed. So, looking forward to it. We'll be going over the players in more details once we get the cast really going. This is just the pre-show, but we got Teba, who I don't know super well, but I do see him in Twitch chats. Seems like a nice guy. And then we have Mr. Bitter, who is a sort of community, he's in the community management, sort of like PR for Mechabellum, and he chats quite a lot. And then we have two 201 players, presumably from China. And as I said, we'll give more info about those guys soon enough. And yeah, looking forward to it. I imagine that the meta will not be too different from what we saw on Saturday. However, I also feel like the meta is significantly different. Like every 500 points in MMR, you go down. And I have absolutely no familiarity with anything below like 1800, 1700, which these players all are. So that'll be interesting too. I mean, it is possible we can learn stuff too. I feel like every Mechabellum game can be quite different, so you never know what you'll see and what you can pick away from it. How crazy will these players be? We do not know. Hopefully they like arc lights, because that is an important ingredient for success.
Did someone say arc lights?
Arc light. What's up, Rooster?
My favorite unit.
Yeah.
I mean,
what up?
It is maybe good that they do get a bit of time to shine, because I can remember some months ago when they were a bit of a meme, and they had been nerfed time and again. Their charge shot was taken away from them. Their attack speed was bad. Crawlers were at their all-time high in terms of strength, and the arc lights were just really sad 100 cost units. But yeah, right now that is absolutely not the case, and they've rewritten their story, so we might see some of them.
They are so important to the game. Like, they decide so much of the ecosystem because they're the most available chaff unit, right? The easiest to access. So they have implications on, Vulcans and everything else. It's also very cool that Tarantula is like now quite a big player as far as like premium chaff clear goes. I feel like people kind of like clued into how good HE is. So yeah, it's pretty interesting.
It is, but Tarantula gets a little bit outshined.
Yeah, outshined, I guess, maybe. I don't know.
By Arclight. But yeah, it does pack a punch. It just takes a bit longer to get online, I guess. And I mean, the Sabertooth packs we haven't mentioned yet, but they are prevalent, and it can be a rough start to pick Tarantula into those. But yeah, you can't know what your opponent picks, so sometimes you just have to deal with it.
Regarding the charge shot, I'm pretty happy they took it down in cost. It's just 150 now, right? Which is pretty cool. Like, it's so cheap that it's actually tempting now, and some players do like it on defense against like early on ball, snowballing and stuff.
Yeah, have you played around with that? Because I'm not running on the bar currently. Maybe I'm a bit old school in that regard, but you like it?
I'm really tempted by armor. I've always liked armor. Like, I used to run armor way back in the day, and I thought it was really good with like flanks and like countering fang gaming, stuff like that. But I'm gonna stick to the charge gun, the charge shot for now. I mean, just mathematically, it's pretty good, assuming that you don't care about your chaff clear going down a lot. I feel like you can just buy more arcs, and then you're not as sad about losing the chaff clear component. But yeah, it's certainly not
just make up for it with numbers, maybe.
Exactly. I mean, sometimes it's a good answer to medium-sized chaff, which would be like, steel balls, sledgehammers, fire badgers.
Right. Yeah, and I guess Mustangs are are not too bad in the meta right now. I think a lot of people do pick them up eventually, and they do quite nicely alongside the arc lights because they're good into the things Arclight isn't that good into, right? Like shielded fangs, they don't mind. If you click loose formation, your crawlers become less tanky, so Mustangs don't mind dealing with them either. So
Yeah,
maybe that can be a nice transition from your arc lights to your Mustangs in terms of chaff clear, and then clicking that charge shot.
for sure. It definitely feels nice too to get like quote unquote free wins when Mustangs get to like level 5 and then the item drops. Like you feel so, you feel like it's worth it to get those early painful turns where the Mustangs suck, but then later on you just have this god carry.
Mm.
Kind of feels good in that sense where like Mustangs suck early, but you might get a break and get a huge carry later.
Yeah, usually I'm not too much in favor of picking them up early. Although I guess with the training spec today, I saw Sarah against me leveling them instantly on round 1 and kind of foregoing their deployments, but it worked very well. And
Yeah.
yeah, just immediately starting to snowball those, and then if you get an item or you get like a quick cooldown, something like that, that every
Yeah.
single scary stuff.
So do people actually make a blue Mustang immediately with training spec? Is that
Yeah, so
seriously a
that's what
thing?
I faced. Yeah, that's what I faced in the tournament today. And well, I mean,
Crazy.
improved firepower control system did show up twice, and I think quick cooldown did as well. So I didn't have a good time, but
Yeah. That
it
game was
won round
unfair.
1. It may be, but it is possible. That's the thing. Like before, that wasn't possible, so it is possible now. But
Yep.
seems like round 1 is about to go underway.
Yes. So we saw the MMRs there. 810 for Teba. He has a different name in game, does he? And then it was like 1200 for the other guy. So not very similar, but I think their peaks may be quite different. Your peak MMR means a lot too when you're this low, because it shows if how well you know the meta at a specific moment can really change things up versus are they experimenting. So we'll
Yeah.
see how they're both looking today. I was mentioning that lower MMR players might play the game in a completely different way than us. Do you ever watch lower rated games, like let's say sub 1500?
Ooh, I gotta say I don't too much. But I have faced my fair share every now and then, especially in tournaments and
Yeah.
old tournaments, like round 1, round 2, when the player base was less than it is now. You would encounter some like you know triple digits as a 2K plus player, and I can confirm they play the game in a different way. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's going to be even more entertaining, if anything.
Yeah, I think we're both going to learn a lot today. I think you legitimately
Yeah.
can learn from any game of Mechabellum just because you're seeing the units interacting, and the weirder board states you see, the more novel it is, and you might pick something away from it. So,
Yeah, I mean, we top players, I guess it's fair to say, we may be kind of thinking boxes. Like,
sure, yeah.
we've been experimenting for ages and ages, and some things just work. And at some point, you say, well, why reinvent the recipe? But maybe, the recipe that's like at the back of the cupboard and you never opened, that's the one that you should have been trying all along. So I'm excited to see what these players have got to bring today.
For sure. Let me introduce these players here. So we have Teba, I believe he's American, and I'm going to read what's in front of me. Is a champion who has been at the tippity top of the stars since before the beginning of human history, nay, time. The only playstyle they favor is winning, and even if they lose, they still win, because you only lose if your hands fall off. Teba prides himself as the undisputed Golden Ball champion of the Outer Hebrides Pee-wee Cup. Teba never ever sells, has been known to use mayonnaise as an instrument, and has once played Mechabellum against a honey badger. All right, let's get into it.
I mean, I don't know how you beat that. I don't know how you beat that as his opponent is Big Bear, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
And Big Bear says sponsored the weekly Mechabellum tournament in China for a long time. Um, I mean that is very commendable, but it
yeah.
is not quite the descriptive list that T-Ball just had. Oh
Yeah.
my days.
Bit of a difference there, but I'm sure he's just as interesting as a guy.
Well, the players have picked their packs. We've got a giant spec here for T-Ball. And Big Bear is an elite specialist. Oh, I already have a bit of a favorite, I gotta admit. Elite spec is
Yep, yep.
the way to my heart. So
Blue
much
arc
fun to play.
lights against
Oh,
white sledges. That's gonna be a feast.
yeah, that is lovely.
Elites are really good at winning round 1, though. At least I think so.
Yes, for sure. Level 2 crawlers are painful to deal with for level 1 arc lights. Level 2 arc lights are good. Level 2 marksmen are good too. They one-shot level 1 sledges. I mean, it's
Yep.
hard to really pick wrong with it.
Yep. Well,
Great
let's see.
matchup here, though, from aggro.
Yeah. Looks like it'll be interesting. A lot of AFK
Boom.
stuff on the left side here.
Yeah, now the opponent, Big Bear, did position in the middle, so at least these units will be involved in the fight a little bit later on.
Yeah, they're not running to the tower.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, Stormcaller's round 1, very powerful. It's a good matchup as well for Big Bear here, with the Storms into the Fangs and the Sledges, and then obviously that power spike from the Elite spec. But the tower is now being targeted.
Ooh. I think it's gonna go down.
Yeah, that debuff is going to maybe turn things around, and the Arclights are strong, but they're also worth a lot of experience. And the Sledgehammers, if
Wow.
we hover over them, both of them, I think,
Oh,
able
oh.
to level up. Oh,
Yes, yes.
yes, the golden glow, there it is.
Who's elite now?
it,
That's
it
actually
is
huge, though.
it is a bit of an elite spec moment. Yeah,
Yep.
I ain't gonna lie, that does end up happening quite a lot. Level
Oh,
2
the
crawlers, though,
crawlers.
available. Wow. Yeah, these
They're so
chaffbacks can be
good.
so strong. The
Have you ever
wasps,
turned
though.
down double crawler? I don't think I've
eh,
ever turned it down.
Ooh. No, I don't think I have.
So good.
It is really, I mean, getting more deployments is just so valuable as well.
It's the best type of deployment too, right? Like if you could deploy a huge amount of things late game, you would deploy chaff most of the time. For
Yes,
money, they are
true.
so good.
Now we get a level 3 marksman picked up here instead, though, and both players say no to those crawlers. They've got different plans in mind. The defense is now moving over to the right side. A Stormcaller has been sold for Big Bear, and a new one, level 2, has been bought on the right side near the flank. However, T-Ball is kind of slowly mounting an attack on the left side with those far back wasps in the back left
Yeah.
corner.
It's pretty cool. Not leveling his sledges, but I respect it. Oh, wait. Temp range? Nani?
Wow.
Uh,
Temp range. Hey, it might give those wasps a better matchup into the fangs. They're only 10 meters apart now, so
yeah. I think the
I'm
tempo will
down
be
for it.
good. But I don't know if it's worth 100. But anyways, I mean, he's not even going to get experience on the sledgehammers too, right? Because they're sitting at full experience already.
Yeah,
So
that
the
is
tempo
true.
is
Maybe
just HP.
sledgehammers were never part of the plan.
They must not be.
I
It's
mean, if
all
we look at
wasp,
the
man.
wasp techs, I can kind of approve. There's some elites, some range on there. I like it.
Yeah. Same loadout I run. I think all you need is elite marksman to have carry wasp. You don't need anything else really. Well, range of course. But
And I mean,
so
those wasps will both insta level there.
Yep. Not a lot of damage for a temp range, but you know, that's okay, I guess.
But maybe the levels are all that he was looking for.
It's pretty juicy. Always getting 2 levels.
Ooh, I like some of these cards. Advanced power system, definitely beneficial for aggro most of the time. But T-Ball picks up the improved fortress.
They like the units. They want to
Ooh.
modify their units. Now we get the sledge
Yeah,
levels.
I'm kind of excited for that card.
Yeah.
I want to see some big fortresses.
Yeah, improved fort is pretty fun. Like getting the speed on them, like assault is cool, and then they just have a ton of HP.
And the question is as well, what techs is T-Ball running? Because we don't know right now, but there's a bunch of things you can run.
Yeah, true. Yeah, forts have a lot of loadouts these days, actually. Although with improved, you want to go tall, not wide, right? So hopefully he's got like elite marksman, like that type of thing.
Oh, that would be insane.
Yep.
Mass-produced
Mustangs.
Scorpion, though, picked up here for Big Bear. And the Mustangs also all the way on the back left corner. And they will be able to deal with a flank coming in from those newly bought Wasp.
Yeah, I think these Mustangs are going to feast.
Yeah, that does look like it. One of the Wasps gets leveled, the other doesn't.
I think the
Crawler in the
Mustangs will
shallow
kill
flank.
everything.
Yeah, I mean, they should. There's nothing stopping them, really, from doing so.
I think they level 2 yeah, they should level if they kill everything.
That'd be nasty. Level 3 Mustang by the end of round 3. Oh.
Oh, they're like getting flanked right now. Brutal. The sledges are doing kind of decent. The arc lights are good tanks up front. We have a blue Stormcaller applying a lot of damage to the sledges and hammers here. Mustangs are taking down all the wasps, so I think it is looking good here for Bear.
Won't quite be able to level up, but yeah, the sledges were looking a bit better. Those levels helping out, but it's not quite going to be enough. So T-Ball taking his first damage here on round number 3.
Will the fortresses come out now? That's the question. Ooh,
Ooh,
enhancement module.
enhancement module. That could be nice, but T-Ball doesn't like it. Wants something different. Could have been good
No.
to sell out of his wasps, but no such
No
thing.
levels for Bear, so I don't think Bear will take it either.
There was extended
Probably...
range sledgehammer as well, but
Yeah, another option he could have gone for, but he actually sells the sledge and buys 2 forests. He managed to afford it.
wow.
That is not cheap. That's like 1,200. Oh, he's giant spec, so 1,000.
Yeah, but still, I mean,
Yeah.
that's the cost of a new overlord. 500 apiece.
Yep. Scorps are coming out now. He has the enhancement module.
Okay.
He takes it with no levels, by the way, and he's loaning. Oh my gosh. Instant range on the Scorpion. 20,000 damage per shot. The
Wow.
fortresses have 66,000 HP, so a little bit more than 3 shots there. He has up Stormcallers as well, though, and a level 3 marksman, so he has the damage. As long as these fortresses don't get levels and get equipment, they can be manageable.
And I think the way that this round is going to play out is really going to dictate much of the rest of this game, because this is a big turn for Big Bear. Range on that Scorpion, picked up the expensive item, loaned. If this doesn't go his way and these fortresses pick up levels, that is disastrous.
That's true, yeah. Levels are also extra efficient when you have improved units. So that's also really...
Stormcallers. And the marksman, I mean, we're talking about the Scorpion, but so far it's actually the units that were already on the board that are being the heroes.
Yep, classic Stormcallers.
Wow.
Solid defense, for sure. Elite looking good.
Yeah, and we'll have to see what T-Ball can do, because he should be ahead in terms of money because he wasn't loaning.
Yep.
But his opponent deals good damage, and that's now 2,500 hit points for T-Ball as we enter round 5.
Another enhancement.
Another
Is that legal?
enhancement. Wow. That's so crazy. Nothing. Oh, you have to
Oh, he
imagine you
wants
pick it up,
to.
but he doesn't pick it up.
Yeah, but Bear
Wow.
wants 2 of them.
Yeah, I guess Bear is like, well, if you're gonna allow me to maybe recover some of my econ, then I won't say no. But he actually puts it on another Scorpion.
Yeah.
Already barriers on those fortresses, and another one picked up. A Fang as well in the front line to try and stop insta-locks from happening, but that is
Yeah.
looking scary.
I guess the barrier is good against the potential smoke. And speaking of smoke, T-Bow's smoke here might not hit the blue Stormcaller, which would be sad.
I
And the
think it
bubbles...
might, but
Yeah, it's
I
really
wouldn't be
close,
too
right?
surprised if they should move forward a little bit.
Oh, oh, oh. A little bit of pushing, yeah.
Oh? No, they do seem to sit outside of it.
Ooh, if it was just a few pixels.
Left side, those wasps are just still having an awful time, I think, into those Mustangs, but
Yeah, he just needs like a crawler or something. It would make such a big difference because since Mustangs are so poor into them.
yeah. I mean, the Mustangs don't have range, so it still takes some time to take them out, and the wasps do
Yeah,
kill some chaff and an arc light.
tower going
Tower
down.
debuff now.
We're getting around here, I think.
That's a lot of damage too. 3 giants left alive.
Yeah, good round for T-Ball for sure. Equalizing things a
Wow.
tiny bit here. And yeah, all the levels. That's huge.
No enhancement module though, that was not picked up.
I know, right? Oh my gosh, he must be kicking himself.
At the same time, did he win because of the smoke that he picked up instead?
Oh, true, true. The smoke is really good, yeah.
Yeah. But it does feel kind of bad. Wow, triple level. Doesn't even think twice about it.
They are improved. I honestly like that. It's so efficient to spend 200 to like get a whole other improved fortress and stats basically.
Hey, and those wasps on the left side, they finally get the front line they deserved. We've got fortresses on the right side, but we've got Worm Wasp, kind of, on the left side of the board here, with a cheeky play for the tower from T-Ball.
Wow. Lone temp range here from Big Bear, and he's in Sabertooth, like acid. And oh my gosh, so much has happened.
Wow. I
What
mean, there's a
the?
lot of damage there, but they have to lock onto the right targets.
Yeah. Oh, we'll see. Acid is really good here against the fortresses.
And I quite like the double shot on the sabers as well, because I think Bear realizes that these fortress barriers with the levels are going to be tough to take down, and double shot will definitely help with that.
Yeah, for sure. It just feels a little bit bad because scorpions are a very similar unit to saber teeth, but still, it's still very powerful. Absolutely, more bodies is good.
Good missile there on the left. Should allow that worm to get in. It did get armor, by the way, so look
Ooh,
at the
the
hit
acid
points.
though.
150k. Yeah, the acid is doing so much work. Wow. Second shot just takes it down instantly.
Yep, he's really happy to have acid right now. It's just good
And
against
the
everything.
smoke did land, but there's so many units just sitting outside of it for now. And the fortresses just refused to shoot the tower. I think they were getting debuffed themselves.
Yeah, they were. If only the smoke was back, just like some like 10 meters, you know. That's brutal. Spells are very precise. You can't miss that up, you know.
Is there anti-air, though?
Not anymore. We got 60
There's no
seconds on the
fangs?
clock. Nope.
Oh, boy.
Oh. So will he kill everything in time? 30
I don't
seconds.
think so, but he'll thin out some of these forces for sure.
Yeah, not
Maybe he
the
can
worst.
kill... Yeah, he should kill another Saber.
Another arc
Arc will
light.
go down as well. Both players taking some damage, but T-Ball definitely taking most of it.
Yep, smoke is gone. We got enhancement module scaling here for Big Bear.
Improved firepower control.
EMP on arc lights. Improved overlord. Oh my gosh, I think Big Bear might like to buy too many different units.
Hey, I don't mind it. This is a nice varied board, but we've got potentially improved. Yes, there it is.
That thing
Oh
costed
my.
850. It's like a war factory.
That's insane. I mean, you know, the anti-air from T-Ball is not good whatsoever. So,
Yeah, I think he's got the round just simply with that unit.
yeah. Scorpion also did pick up a level, so there's a free upgrade available there.
If he sees it. Okay, he's got it. So
Yep.
the EMP on the arc lights, what do you think that's for?
I
Just
mean, I
like
think he's hoping to
this.
hit some of those backline units.
Yeah, I guess so, huh? They have a long way to go though, and they don't have range. Might not
Yeah,
pay off yet.
I mean, maybe they can... They do have more range than the fortresses. Those fortresses got overload last turn, so they might
Yeah,
have
true.
some front line for them. Although, with the clumping and the splash from the scorpions, they
Yeah, these
might not
scorpions. Oh.
live. Oh,
Brutal.
yeah, they do get hit. I mean, the fortresses do hit the tower, but fortress not really getting
Uh-oh.
things done here.
It's a lot of damage.
Oh, the scorpion is still alive as well.
40. I think that's it. First game going to Big
Oh
Bear.
my days, wow. What a game.
Yeah, the improved
That was
fortresses were
crazy.
very nice. Just I don't know, was he clicking temp speed? He wasn't clicking temp speed. Very important when you got giants, especially fortress. Gotta click temp speed.
Yes, anything on the line really, just click that button,
Yeah, yep.
get in quicker, and
It's honestly better than range in some circumstances, like depending on how long the travel time is.
what a wild game though. Double teched
Yeah.
Saber, double teched Scorpion on Elite, and finishing it off with an improved Overlord.
Yep.
How
Yep.
many times do you get to see improved Giants into improved Giants?
Yeah, for real. They like their cards too, like mass produced scorpion, improved fortress. Those players like to pick up a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and Bear there, coming out ahead.
Yeah, no doubt. With elite, very very nice. We both love elite.
We do.
And he picked enhancement module. It feels like it should be the other player picking enhancament module, you know?
Yeah, true, true. Whenever an enhancement model shows up on Elite, you're a little bit sad because you're like, well, I already got the levels,
Yeah.
so how am I going
Oh
to
yeah.
use this?
It used to be unplayable back in the day, like playing as
True.
elite and then enhancement module dropped because it only costed, was it 50 and then like 50 to
Yeah,
take it or 100 to take
it
it?
was a 50 cost item, yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah, disgusting.
But they didn't give 20% health, and
Yeah,
attack.
yeah. Therefore, it was fine. Don't worry about it.
Definitely not an oppressive combo back then. Although
So,
it had to contest with things like charged ammo and parasitic ammo, so
okay, good point, good point. Quite a different landscape back then.
yeah.
So Taba is gonna go into the losers bracket. I'm sorry, Rooster, that's what it's called. Don't get mad at me. And Big Bear will be moving on. He'll be fighting the winner of Mr. Bitter against. Let me see how to say his name. I guess it's just Kuhanikawa. And yeah, let me introduce those players now. So, Mr. Bitters is a renowned StarCraft player and broadcaster. He's a computer games industry professional, so he's worked on like esports and stuff, who's been taking great interest in facilitating the promotion and management of the Mechabellum community and competitive scene. He is new to the game, but has already surpassed many top players in hours played in the last few months, which is yeah, definitely true. He loves to grind, loves the game. He's very chatty in Mechabellum Discord server. And on Kuhanikawa, they are a World War ship streamer on Bilibili with more than 20K followers, and he's got a bunch of highly viewed videos like VODs. So coming from a different game, perhaps, and the max MMR, so the peak of Hanikawa is just shy of 1500, and I believe Bitters is around 1600 peak as well. So pretty close there.
Yeah, should be a close matchup.
Yeah, for sure. I haven't
I
seen
think
these players, but
I mean Mr. Bitter, I know one of his favorite units is Phantom. Another one, I believe, is Hackers. He's taken a bit of an interest into Sandworms recently as well, though, so we might see a bit of, well, maybe a mix, or maybe one of those. I wouldn't be too surprised to see.
yeah, Bitter is he has some favorites for sure. Like we've seen him be quite into Arclights, Hackers, and Phantom Rays. We've seen that in the Pro-Ams event that took
We
place,
have, yeah. Yep.
and he puts a lot of
Under
things
the
on the
wing of
line.
Pants.
Yeah, yeah, he did Fortified Hackers on the line. Didn't quite work out, but you know it was fun. That card is fun and good in theory, but when you put them on the line, maybe not so much.
Well, maybe he gets a chance to redeem himself this time.
Oh, for sure.
The only way to learn. And as for Q, World of Warships, I mean, we do like to call overlords boats in this game, so
Yeah, yeah, could be his spirit animal there. We'll have to
perhaps.
see. He could just be a standee, right? We don't know. The other 2-on we just saw Big Bear. I don't know if I would call them a standee, but they were defensive. They did take the Stormcaller pack, so you know, might be following
Yeah, but I
the
feel like,
region norm.
yeah, maybe, but I like playing Stormcallers myself as well. Honestly, I almost prefer it when one of the players is aggressive and the other is defensive, because it allows for a
Yeah,
more varied board state. When both of you are playing the same, whether it's aggro or long range standard game, you tend to end up playing the same units because you kind of want to achieve the same thing. And yeah,
yeah, that's true
having
for
those
sure.
different,
Yeah, I
yeah,
really like defense. I think like I really like playing defense, and that's why I'm sometimes considering to play standard. Like I mean, I mostly only do it when I see my opponent has like an aggressive unit like balls. Then I'm like, I guess I can play defense because they'll probably be aggro. But then sometimes they don't, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So
yeah, you kind of just got to judge your way into, okay, can I afford to be headbutting this guy, or will that cost me if he does end up on the line, and then play accordingly.
yeah, 100%. Some headbutt games are cool though. Like not always do you have the exact same units on headbutts. You know.
That is true. Now, round number 2 underway. Any interesting packs?
Interesting. Well, there was Amplify, but he didn't want it. He goes for cost control. And Hanikawa here. I mean, Fortified is a big, healthy pack. We have speed, of course, very exciting. Farseer
That's a
spec looking
good
just solid.
pack. Yeah, there's
Really
a
spoiled for
good
choice
lot of
here.
good options. True.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
That speed
curious.
spec though, starting Saber Fang
Oh
with
my gosh.
4800 hit points doesn't go for it though.
Oh, he wants the beefy pack. Pretty solid. We'll see where they place their units here. Looks like they're
Looks
in the
like it
back.
might be a long range game.
Yeah, I think both SBCs are okay at that. Fortified maybe falls off a little bit towards the end. Cost control sort of does too. Like they're known to be bad in the ultra late game, but I think in standard that's a little bit less the case. But where are these Stormcallers going? They're a little bit far forward here. Are we seeing perhaps a little bit of aggro, half aggro?
I like that name. I mean, perhaps the transition
Yeah.
from standard into aggro, it's not unheard of.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, we'll see. Definitely standard though from Hanikawa. Arclights, of course, got to handle the crawlers. Some people do
Hmm.
fangs because they clear chaff, like they clear crawlers okay on the first round. But I think
Yep.
when you're against crawlers, you can just safely buy the Arclights, and like their experience matters, right? So
Yeah, that's true. Also, Stormcaller Fang with crawlers is usually better in if you're mirroring into other storms because they tend to just
yeah,
snipe the arc lights.
yeah, it's a good point.
Some good locks here though. I like the positioning, pairing up the DPS from the Stormcallers with the chaff clearing of those arc lights, and they're working together well so far.
Yep, everything's cleared. Now it comes down to the DPS against the sledgehammers.
That is a bit lower. It is a horrible matchup. We didn't talk
Yeah,
about this, but cost control versus fortified, that is a big HP difference between those units.
yeah, good point. Fortify. I was just going to mention Fortified's really powerful there, just in general. But now that you mentioned the matchup specifically, um, Arclights just don't even one-shot crawlers, right?
We can have a look at their hit points. 324 there on the fortified, and yeah, 308
Ooh.
attack on the arc light. That is rough, and there's no way to fix it either because the attack buff is less than the hit point buff on the tower.
Yeah, you can like do it as a tactic. Like you can take attack, and then for one turn you will one-shot the crawlers. But if they notice it, they can just take defense enhancement right back on the tower and make it so you
Yep.
don't one-shot their crawlers.
And usually you would go for something like Vulcan to kind of remedy that because it has been a problem for some time.
Yes.
These breakpoints, but Bitters here, trusting his Arclights, buys more of them, unlocks Fangs as well in front of the tower, and goes for an early tempo shield. Wow, what do you think of this?
Hmm. It used to be so popular back in the day. Endozoa used to be like obsessed with it against sledgehammers because sledgehammers are like one of the worst bubble clearing units. So, in my opinion, it's good if you get relevant experience from it and if you just, get a massive tempo swing from it. I don't know if that will be the case here. We do have Arclights that care about the experience. So, we will have to see.
Hanakawa also just buying more chaff this round, so there's no real additional damage to get rid of the shield.
Yeah, it's probably going to live, I'd say.
Oh,
Maybe,
just look at these Arclights. They're having
yeah.
such a rough time against the crawlers. It's painful to look at.
Yeah, that's super rough. It's definitely not the matchup you want to see when you pick cost control, right? I think there's actually two bad matchups as well. There's being against supply SBC, and then there's being against fortified. And the reason why supply SBC is bad is because your advantage is only like half as much as usual, economically speaking. And then you just can't get late enough into the game, or you can't kill them fast enough, I should say, and the supply SBC just outscales you.
True. Yeah, I think Giant Spec also has been a bad matchup historically because, again, usually you try to get into Giants as cost control, but Giant Spec then can just unlock them and not have the debuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting.
Marksman pick up here on round 3. Lots of deployments. 4
Yeah.
deployments. What a crazy pack.
Yeah, you're going wide for sure. You got the whole board covered. Going much taller here for Bitter. Just one blue Farseer. That's a lot of investment in one unit. So his left side is going to be a lot stronger than his right side here. Arclight range picked up. That's very good to get around
Whoa.
round 3. Heavy armor not used yet by Bitter, but it may go on the Farseer. The heavy armor was floated, like not used during round 2, but now round 3 it is put on the white sledgehammer. So interesting there.
Are we somehow seeing some Arclight Worm in the making here from Mr. Bitter?
That is very possible.
It is following the flowchart so far. Buying your chaff, get your Arclights, get the range on round 3.
Yeah.
Buys the
Uh,
item as well.
oh, good point. Yeah, floating the
Has
item
the
could be
heavy
an
armor.
indication. Yeah.
Wouldn't mind seeing it on the Farseer here, but maybe he wants to
Yeah.
keep that guy around. It is powerful.
Yeah, it's an EMP source, although the arc lights are as well. So, although, yeah, he does run it. Okay, he doesn't
Well,
run
other
elite
player.
marksman. It's a war
Oh,
crime.
true. Yeah, no elite.
The
Ooh.
levels don't matter. I'm sorry for lying. His arc light levels no longer matter.
I mean, well, they do in the fact that if he gets levels, he will finally be able to one-shot those crawlers.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, that's a good point.
Shield putting in the work, but
Couple.
will end up falling this round.
Yep, yep. Doesn't hurt too much when you're cost control, the $100 that you've lost, but it is something for sure. But the tempo was
Oh,
worthwhile.
Farseer.
Yep, yep. It's a
Doing
big
some
unit.
Farseer things early on.
Well, let's see. He really wants to use that heavy armor. Subsidized Mustang is a juicy card.
Supply enhancement round 4.
It's like it's the round you take super supply, so surely you can take supply, right?
I can't be on board with it. I just can't. It feels icky. It just does. Even on round 3, it feels icky.
Hmm.
But,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. No,
this
I
will
feel
pay
you.
off on round 8. Yep.
Yep.
I mean, maybe. We'll have to see. We'll count. We'll count.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah,
keep the
we'll
tally.
see. I mean, you
One
never know, right?
Arclight is leveled. Important news. One Arclight is now able to one-shot level 1 crawlers.
Well, yeah. We got subsidized Mustangs
Mission
coming out.
achieved. Wow. Subsidized Mustangs.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good card. I don't know if it's good here specifically. I think
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
I wouldn't consider Mustangs to be better against crawlers than Arclights, and if the Arclights are
No.
already struggling, ugh. But let's
Yeah,
see how
yeah.
this goes. Goes for the instant range. The Farseer might still be enough to carry these rounds.
It might be. I mean, it's only got 20k HP, right? It's not invincible, so we'll see. Definitely have a
So
lot more
far,
chaff.
yeah. Bitters here still has those late fangs coming in, but a good salvo from the Stormcaller is starting to hurt.
Ooh, Farseer.
Locked onto the left
Oh,
side.
oh, oh,
Ooh, it will go down.
oh.
Trade its life with the Marksman.
I think Hanikawa's gonna get this round then. All the marksmans, all the arclights, better stats by a lot.
It's a small victory, though. Not too much damage taken, so Bitters with enough options, I think,
Yeah,
to
got the
still
Mustangs online.
come back in this game. Also, Arclights, more of them now getting levels, and we
Ah,
get the second unit drop on round
no
5 as
worms,
early as possible. No worms. Overlord can
but
be sold, though.
big scorpion for your heavy armor. Oh, no, both
Rhinos
players.
instead. Okay.
Who's keeping them and who's selling them? Let's see.
Both might be keeping them.
Wow. You don't see that every day, I have to
Farseer
say.
gets the armor, though. That guy's been on the board for 2
Uh,
rounds. Is that a misclick? Maybe.
I could like see the logic for it, but I don't think it's correct. Like the first year might be the last thing that survives, and you just want it to like win the end game against the other ranged units. But yeah, I
Yeah.
would personally chuck it on a Rhino.
I mean, he might have held on to it just to see what the free units would give. And now seeing the Rhinos, he's like, the
Yeah,
Farseer has been doing really well and just died last round, like barely. So maybe with the armor this time, it can carry the left side.
yeah, yeah, I agree. Well, we got a lot of blue arc lights now for Hanikawa, so their chaff clear is rock solid, and those are tanky arc lights, let's not forget. 10k plus HP.
Yeah, they're not even fortified, as in the card. Well, they
Yeah,
are fortified specialist Arclights, but not double fortified Arclights.
no level on the sledgehammer, which has the heavy armor equipped. A little bit sad to see. You should always level things with equipment if you can, but I suppose the money was needed elsewhere. More
Also
missiles coming
important
out.
to note, Bitters here does have both of the tower buffs, but Hanakawa does not.
Yeah, so actually better attack stats for Bitter, slightly worse health stats at the moment.
Yeah, but it does introduce that crawler breakpoint again, even for the level 1 arcs. So
Yeah, true.
would like to see the defense pick up. But so far it seems like this Arclight army from Hanakawa is doing very well.
Yeah, that's brutal, huh? The Rhino survived longer for them. The Farseer is now starting to fight with that heavy armor, but I think it's going to go down to the Marksmans.
Ooh,
Yeah.
missile device goes down as well.
Yeah, there was a sentry missile from Hanikawa, so they are sort of trading econ. Let's also not forget we have supply enhancement for Hanikawa, so scaling quite a lot better than the cost control, which is sort of fizzling out in its efficacy.
Well, I'm not gonna count that card just yet, okay? Like I'm gonna count it on round 8. That's when it pays back for itself and starts making money. But
Until then, it's a negative, right?
until then, it doesn't exist in my book. It's a negative investment.
Yeah, something I have been thinking about these cards is that like if you're in a round where you wanted to float anyway because like you just want to be as flexible as possible, then I think the first round you're like technically not paying tempo if that makes sense. So I do
Hmm.
try and give that logic a little bit of credit, but specifically that card I'm not a fan. I like the super one more.
Yeah, Super Supply is really powerful. I mean, it's a must pick on round 4,
Round
in
four,
my opinion.
yeah. At least in standard.
Yeah, if you're like above 3k hit points, kind of insta pick. If you're below
Yep, yep.
3k, maybe not.
Yeah, I agree. Well, the Arclights are getting Elite Marksman. That is not a tech available to Mr. Bitter here, and that is a really powerful tech for Arclights.
And I like what Hanakawa has done here. Realizes that the tower buffs have been picked up from bidders and now matches at least a defense enhancement so that Arclight in the front will not be able to one-shot those level 1 Arclights that are being beaconed.
Yep. Yeah, heads up play there. And we have Mustangs with the anti-missile tech here. Now, there was only 2 Stormcallers on the battlefield, as well as, maybe 1 sentry missile per turn coming out of Hanikawa. So I don't know if that was enough justification to pick it up, but
Yeah, that
he's
does
going
seem a bit
for it.
expensive.
Yeah, negating the Stormcallers is nice, no doubt, but that was expensive.
And with the army of blue arcs here as well from the opponent, now with elite,
Yeah,
you've got to imagine that they might just farm those Mustangs.
yeah, like the marksmen are getting big too. Like Hanikawa is scaling really, really well into this game.
Yeah, and I think at this point, the only option that you have as bidders is trying to go for a worm play.
Yeah, I don't mind it for sure. You need a tank. I mean, Arclights are sort of tanks to an extent as well, right? And Bitter does
Yeah,
not
they
have
are.
many of those. So,
Yeah, and as mentioned, he's getting outskilled in the range war, and there's nothing in the game that will outrange a marksman, apart from maybe siege mode scorpions.
yeah.
And so closing that range fight and going for the worms, I think, is a good idea. Improved Wasp, though, one of my favorite cards.
Yeah, very, very powerful card here.
It's
But
skipped.
it
Oh,
is
maybe
skipped. I
Hanakawa,
mean,
though.
but there's
Although
Mustang,
into
so
Mustang, yeah, probably don't do that.
yeah, Bitters had the opportunity, does not go for it. Instead, probably looking to do more of the same here, unless he goes for the worms. We will see. Melter. It's just for the Rhino. I guess to some extent that makes sense because we do have a this is fortified SPC, of course, and we have a level 3 Rhino with heavy armor. So, and he's clicking armor. Oh my gosh, that thing has a
Okay.
mountain of HP.
Well, it's a good timing for the melting points.
It is, yeah. Actually, not a terrible play, I would say. Like the worms would just get beat up by that Rhino, I think.
Yeah, they probably would. I mean, it's a tough spot to be in. Range now on the marksman as well. The one issue that I do have is that these marksmen have scary text on the bar with elite and double shot available, and those scaling arc lights have EMP available as well, which can create real problems for the melters in standard. Whether or not it will come out, though, remains to be seen.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you're definitely not happy to buy the melters here. Like, it's good that he did. I think it increased his chance to win. But just the fact that you have to do that is, I think, a really bad sign for his position. More marksmen coming out here, really filling up his board. And we will see.
Bitters opting to loan already does have that temp range advantage.
Yeah, putting a lot more tempo on the battle here. Really doesn't want to get one-shotted. He is low on HP with just 1400.
Well, let's see. Can the melter find its mark?
I think it can.
Does lock on. It's very nice.
Yep, rhinos are off the board here. Not a lot of chaff left here for Hanikawa. Fangs are just getting taken out now, and then it's just a ranged battle at the end.
Yeah, range battle that, for now, the melters can kind of keep up with the marksman.
Yeah, they're looking alright. Getting some kills. I don't know if he'll get the round, but mitigating
Ooh.
quite a bit.
Does
500
lose, but
health.
Got some shields there.
Yep, that's from alone in
And he's
a temp range though, so
yeah, that is true. At the same time, the armor on the rhinos didn't do too much, so maybe training blow for blow somewhat.
yeah, yeah, good shout.
Wasps
Well,
picked up.
now we get the wasp.
I
They
like
could
it.
be
It's a
good.
good pick. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could go up to 5 of them here with shield. That would be just completely overwhelming.
Yeah, it's like one of those drops where Bitters can easily deal with it because he does have those Mustang, but his opponents currently can't.
Yep, there was also a level 6 Phoenix offered. I don't know if any player really needs that, but quite a massive drop. And the Typhoon and the Saber I don't think are super good here. The Saber with field maintenance could be a pretty sweet tank move. We've seen that before from Fang Fang in a
Ooh.
MAG1.
Yeah, I do like
No.
that as a shout. It's not picked up though. Instead, it's those big phoenixes you mentioned for Hanakawa.
Yeah, a little bit more punch to get through those level 2 melters now.
More melters picked up. EMP though, it does get clicked this turn for the arc lights, and that looks very scary to me.
Yeah, shutting off the range of the melters once all the chaff has been cleared is going to be a big, impactful moment during the ranged battle at the end.
Yep. And there used to be a time when going Stormcaller Melter with maybe arc lights was a better comp in standard than the marksman, but as of late, I feel like arc light marksman is definitely
Yeah,
the better of those.
yep, I
We'll
agree.
see though.
We'll see. I mean, we do have melters on every inch of the map now, so we got full coverage. Oil coming out. I think that's just slowing down the chaff for the most part, and the arc lights. We do have wasps as well, of course. That's huge. Gonna slow down these level 6 phoenixes.
No more picked up though. It's just the level 3s, no techs.
Yeah, maybe that's all he needs though. We'll see.
Yeah,
Not
they
much
are
anti-air.
slowing down the phoenixes. They're not really targeting anything useful so far. But
EMP's
now
now
the
gonna
arc
come
lights are
through.
finding their mark. Yeah, that is
Oh,
brutal.
yeah. Honestly, pretty solid game there from Hanikawa.
I mean, you mentioned it when I joined the stream. Arclight was the first thing I heard, and Arclights it is for Hanakawa, showing the power of those units here, and taking a clean win over Bitters. So we know our winners for the next matchup, and we also know who we'll be seeing later in the best of threes.
Yeah, it is our 201 players making making themselves look good for sure. So we're gonna pull in Mr. Bitter for an interview in a few moments here. It'll be interesting to hear. But my first thing I think I'll ask him is, why no elite marksman on the bar for your arc lights? All right, we got him in. Are you there, Mr. Bitter?
I'm here. How's it going, guys? I'm so sad.
It's well, you played good, but I think in the end he outscaled you a little bit.
Yeah, I think I really underestimated his arc lights and probably should have played around the storm callers differently than I did. And I think I really needed late things with shield, and I think that's the big mistake that I made. Is I just lost the chaff fight super hard.
Yeah, I like your Fang Shield idea. That would be really, really strong here. So I've got a
Yeah.
couple notes for you this game.
Okay, let's go.
So firstly, you did Missile Interceptor on your Mustangs when there was only 2 Stormcallers, and usually we want a bigger commitment of like, 3 or maybe like another missile-based unit. So I'm not sure about that one. What was your thoughts on that?
Oh, I completely agree with you. I think I played into the storm callers so wrong. And I was really second guessing myself from the moment I unlocked Mustangs the first time. I was like, is this the right choice? Um, and
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, Stangs are really good, but I think for them to be good, you have to super commit to them. And I kind of played them halfway, and then I
Mhm.
teched them up, and it was just like such a weak way to play Stangs, and so I'm very regretful about that choice.
Well, you live and learn, so that's fine, of course. Another thing I have to mention, well, you saw how good his arc lights were, and I'm sure you watched the top players here and there, and everybody's running elite marksman tech. And I was really curious and surprised that you were not running it. Have you tried it and you don't like that tech?
So I'm running it now. If you were to click on my arcs in that last game, you'd see that I have it equipped.
Oh, okay.
Um, and there was a moment in that game where I thought this is the time to click Elite Marksman. Um, but I also felt like I was already behind in both Arclight numbers and Arclight levels. And this is one of the reasons that I went into Mustangs. And then after I made that choice, I was like, this was wrong. I should have done something else.
I see.
So yeah, I mean, I didn't really feel like I had a chance to go elite arcs without doing something like, okay, I'm going to put down 3 arcs this turn and kind of try to like surprise him. And that felt too much like a little bit like an all-in of sorts, you know what I mean? And
Hmm.
yeah, ultimately I just slowly bled to death, but it's okay. I'm going to get the rematch in the finals.
I'll be looking forward to it. It was a rough matchup as well. I'm not sure if you were aware, but you were cost control into heavy armor there or fortified, so
Yeah,
it was a tough one.
brutal matchup for sure. Well, thanks for the interview, Mr. Bitter. Looks like he's got to go and get ready for his next games.
And we're already booting up game number 3 there between the two winners.
Yep, both of them looked really good, honestly. I think I was actually a little bit more impressed with Hanikawa. I mean, that was like it was somewhat meta. It was somewhat, everything was like pretty well placed. Um so yeah, I think if it goes into like a standard versus standard, I might give them the edge here. If things get crazy, I mean, I think anything could happen.
Yeah, I think Hanakawa there looked like the player who was most aware of the Haimamar meta to some extent.
Yeah, that could definitely be a thing because it was fairly meta. I mean, I really liked the number of arc lights that they got, and they spread them horizontally very, very well. They teched them at the right moments. Just kind of good respect for such a premium unit.
Yeah, and recognizing that they were simply favored in that matchup as well, having those stat
Yeah,
bonuses.
yep, definitely true. Picking the defense enhancement at the right time as well to equalize that crawler trade again. So they definitely know what they're doing. Um, I their peak MMR was 1468, which is I think higher than everybody except for Mr. Bitter. Of course, peak MMR doesn't mean everything, and I also don't know if that's like like pre-season reset and all that type of stuff as well. But an interesting stat nonetheless. And we'll see if they pick aggro or not, or if these are both just standard players, because at this point we don't quite know.
Well, let's see what the packs have to offer.
Quick pick there. That
Amplify
looks.
spec. Ooh,
Guess
looking forward to that.
you could play that one aggro, but you could also play it standard. So I guess we'll have to see.
I think I'd prefer seeing it aggro, but it looks like it'll be a long range setup as well. And
Yep, yep.
Bear, I would expect the same considering the Stormcaller pickup, is a Sabertooth spec himself, so lots of sabers in long range fights, I think, is what we're going to be seeing early on here from
Yeah.
both players.
I mean, they definitely can be a carry and or a tank in standard versus standard. I think a really important aspect to Sabretooth right now is just, of course, their tank value, but also that they one-shot arc lights, and there's always arc lights on the battlefield.
Yeah, that's a good point. Bear here picking them up as well on round 1, making sure he has some of that chaff clear. And Hanakawa obviously starting with them. We've got the amp, the
Yep.
mini amp cores. Oh,
Whoa.
as I say that, some of the sabers are starting to move to the right side of the board. Are we getting some asim aggro after all?
Yes.
I think
Wow.
we do.
Okay. I really did not expect that.
Exciting stuff.
Yep. Equipping both small amplicores is pretty common. You usually leave the third one because you might get free unit drops shortly thereafter, and plus it's just not really worth putting it on an arc light or a crawler, especially because you never really sell those units anymore.
Yep. Yeah, no, Sabretooth now with 20% more hit points and 20% more attack.
Yeah.
Nearly 18k hit points a
Yeah,
piece
they're a
on round
beast.
1. Scary.
No doubt. Yeah, having the tank value early on is super precious. Like keeping your chaff alive. Like early on, chaff does a lot of damage. Like crawler DPS is super real in the early rounds, so just having a big tank, letting your crawlers get through is huge.
Yeah, it does. And I mean, speaking of that, some of them here alive,
Yeah.
taking down those Stormcallers on the right side. Debuff comes through. Now, can the Arclights finish it off? Because these
Yeah,
Stormcallers do have a Shield of Fangs in front of them.
yeah, it's close. Very
Oh,
close.
and
Oh,
Stormcallers there, doing Stormcaller things. Close round,
yeah,
but
no
Bear does
doubt.
pick it up.
Saber comes down now. That'll definitely help them out. That's kind of what they need too. A little bit of tank value, a little bit of DPS. Quick picks
Ooh,
here.
different cards picked up.
Yeah, a lot of asymmetry today. So we got Smart Marksman here for Big Bear with no marksmans on the actual battlefield. So will we see them bot right now?
The Saber also so nice. The fact that he gets it now means that he can move it to the correct side of the board. And yeah, we do see those marksmen being picked up.
Yeah, those could start scaling quite
Hanakawa.
nicely. Laser put on the arc light, a little
Wow.
surprising for me. Like, I don't think
Yeah.
it's a bad unit to put it on. It's just rather like I like to.
Whoa.
Ooh, that is really early arc range there. Did it waste any deploys? I guess
No,
not.
he
So
sold the Stormcaller to be able to do it.
yeah, I guess it's all right then.
I quite like it. Crawlers have been added as well, so it should help out.
There's
Crazy tempo move, though.
early beacon coming out as well. Pretty interesting. Although one of the storms is being sold, however, the beacon will still be useful for the rest of the game, especially on aggro here. I actually don't do mobile beacons against stormcallers on aggro very often. Do you think it's a good tactic?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you there, because generally you just want to push into them anyway, so like these
Yeah,
type of beacons tend to have less value. It
I think
can
they're.
work though if he tries to just play a long range game with the arc lights.
Yeah, I think it is like better than nothing. Like if you already have mobile beacon, you don't see any other use for it. I think you probably should do that. It's just whether
Yeah.
you want to commit the 100. Well, the tempo is looking pretty good here for Hanikawa. Really getting in there.
Yeah, the
Don't
range on the arc
know.
light's not quite paying off for Bear just yet.
I suppose selling the Stormcaller was what caused the painful loss there, because it did a lot, right, on the first round there. So maybe a
Yeah,
little bit
there's
of growing pains here.
there's also just not that much chaff yet on the board. A lot of deployments here used to get the marksman.
Yeah.
So there's not much stopping this push
These are
currently.
juicy
Again,
units, by the way. I like all
yeah,
4 of them. So good.
nice unit packs.
Maybe Mustangs feel the weakest to me, but they both players want them. And maybe I'm wrong, but I felt like those other units were super juicy here.
Yeah, I quite
Like,
like the Mustang for Hanakawa. Mustang Saber, pretty decent, and
yeah,
opponent already has triple Fang, but for Bear, I'm not so sure. Sledgehammers, they do get one shots
I don't
each
mind that.
by
Like
Saber,
that's
but
fine.
they're slow to kill. Like these Sabers do not reload quickly, so
100%. I think Sledge's counter Sabers in that aspect. Like I think it's like the
yeah.
premium defensive unit.
Oh,
The
third one
level,
gets picked up.
yeah, pretty cool. I was thinking the level 3 Badger with the small amp core was like a decent combination, but
Yeah, it's a scary unit to deal with, especially
yeah,
like
for
on
sure.
the flank. Ooh.
Yep. But Mustangs it is, and they are all the way in the back for Hanikawa with no range yet, whereas Big Bear committing to the range instantly, also way in the back. Probably a
Yeah,
lot of
big
tower pressure.
difference.
Tower's like fairly exposed, right? Like marksmans are not going to defend your tower, nor the Stormcaller.
And I'm trying to look at them, but they don't have the shooting squad available to spawn those fangs, so I think
Yeah,
more chaff will definitely be on the shopping list for Bear in
yep,
these coming rounds.
no doubt. Well, at least we get the Mustangs maybe tanking for the tower a little bit. We'll see. Just a lot of tankiness here with those sabers and arc lights. But not a lot of chaff clear left, actually, and the tower is not getting sniped yet.
Ooh, Arclight turns his attention to it though, and it will fall eventually. Left side also, those Mustangs now moving in. So two
Yeah.
debuffs back to back.
Yeah, at the end, the tempo finally turned over there, so that is a win for Hanikawa, who's already in a pretty strong tempo position, picking up some really valuable levels as well with these equipments.
Yeah, those level 2 sabers with amp cores, I am not looking forward to deal with those if I am Big Bear.
For sure. Missile Strike here for the Mustangs. Let's see who wants to spell tempo, because additional deployment is also a fairly juicy card. Yes, we see an asymmetry there. Big Bear going for the Missile Strike. It only kills a level 1 Mustang, but that is quite valuable.
Yeah, perhaps recognizing that he needs to regain some of this tempo and doesn't want to try and go for the value because he's already below 3k and it's only round 4. Range on the arc lights picked up for Hanakawa.
Weird, it didn't update for me. Oh, you said arc lights? Oh, okay. And secondary armament as well. That's going to be really strong pushing in here. The moment that he starts clicking temp speed, I think there's going to be insane pressure on the tower. Those are sort of like boats, right? They can just snipe the tower with that secondary armament.
Yeah, I think it's a fun tech. I'm still not completely convinced about it, but
I
I do
actually
like
am.
seeing it clicked.
I do it
Ooh.
mostly against balls or like things that have small range, and I just commit myself to like never clicking double shot in range, basically.
Yeah, that's like the awkward bit to me.
Yeah,
It's also
yeah, you
like,
gotta
do
commit.
balls really need more of a counter? Like, really?
I don't know, man. Sometimes I play against some scary balls, okay?
Well, with the leveled saber teeth, it's not too bad of a tech, and the side
Yeah.
armaments will be scaling along. But that tower is still quite vulnerable. Somehow, some way, though.
Yeah,
Big
it
Bear
dies.
managing to...
Yeah.
Ooh, I was gonna say weather the storm for some time, but they will end up falling yet again.
Yeah, it looks sort of good, but just not quite. Like, I think Big Bear just needs like a tiny bit more DPS and certainly a bit more tower protection. And that was the missile strike turn, keep in mind too. Like, getting rid of a whole Mustang off the board for free is pretty dang good, and that's no longer available. Smoke, however, is picked up, and that is very good on defense because you can place it on your side of the board, and there's no way to stop it.
Yeah, and the oil purchased as well. So I think the zone on the board on the right side will not be a lot of fun to pass through for Hanekawa's units.
No fun allowed. Yeah, maybe they should attack the other side. We see Lone and Temp range, by the way. Big Bear doing a huge tempo play here, feeling a little bit under the pressure, perhaps. Will we see bubbles? Because that smoke is also very,
Yeah,
very
if
good.
that smoke lands, okay, we
Oh,
do get the bubbles. Heads up
perfect.
play here from Big Bear.
Yeah, I mean, you really got to win this round, right? You're loaning and Temp ranging.
Yeah, you do.
And double spelling, right? I mean, if you don't win this round, I think it's almost certainly defeat. I think their chances are good though. Their tower is definitely going to be a lot more protected now. I think they're still missing the DPS they need. Do they have money remaining? They do. They could level their marksmans. They have range on those, by the way. So those enemy units stuck on the oil while you have ranged marksmans is going to be huge. We also have a blue Mustang, which is going to completely dominate against the white Mustangs if it comes down to it.
Yeah, the play here though. Oh, there's two spells on top of one another.
It's so nasty. Yeah.
It is, but it is exactly what Big Bear needs to
Yeah,
try and
missiles as
prolong this
well.
game.
Oh my gosh, the
And look
amount
at
of
that
tempo.
marksman on the left.
Pretty cheeky. Does it get the tower? Oh,
No,
there's the crawlers there.
not quite.
We got lock-ons though. I mean, this just looks really, really good for Big Bear, I think, right? And if bubbles live, that is huge. I don't expect both of them to live, but we'll see. Oh, it's so important if it does though. Oh, okay. One of them goes down. The other one surely lives, and it should be a win here for Big Bear. And those ground effects will remain, of course, for another round.
Yep.
So a really good opportunity here to equalize things. The fadeaway arc light getting some good value with laser sight, but it will go down here without getting the level, I believe.
Yeah, Hanakawa is still relatively healthy, has 1,000 hit points, more than his opponent still. We'll see if he tries to switch his attention to the right side,
Oh,
or his
snap.
right side of the board.
Raiden's coming
Raiden,
out. Those
the
things don't
new
care about
unit.
ground effects. So,
They
oh,
don't, but neither do
Worm though.
sandworms,
That is
to some extent.
interesting. I don't mind it. Was it better than Raiden? Maybe it was. Worms are very
I
good.
mean,
Like,
yeah, worms are strong. Problem though,
yeah.
does Hanakawa have enough anti-air to deal with leveled Raidens?
Yeah, good point. Also, he has to cover that that cheeky marksman on the left. We'll see if he remembers that. Looks like we have a
He
Fang going up
does.
in front.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another lone temp range, by the way, from Big Bear here. Marksman levels, of course. With smart marksman, you gotta level them. I mean, you took that card for a reason. Armor. Okay, so I think armor makes a lot of sense, and that's probably why they took worms, because there are Mustangs on the board. I mean, that tech is
And
good even if there's not Mustangs on the board.
yeah, the 50% hit point is just so
Yeah.
strong. And into these Raidens, they don't run Ionize. So
Mm.
I'm not sure he has enough damage to kill these in a reasonable amount of time. At the same time, however, Hanakawa doesn't really have much in terms of anti-Raiden units. So
Yeah.
we'll have to see how this ends up going.
Yeah, for sure. Both players might need a strong reaction, like an anti-worm and an anti-Raiden unit immediately. Ooh, the sentry helping the cheeky Mustang, but it just goes down. Too bad there. The ground effects are looking good. The Raidens are nice and safe. The worms are starting to come in, though. They will be stuck in oil, but that doesn't matter too much for them.
Well, Raiden's doing a good job so far. Here come the worms. Level 1, though. Somewhat unhappy. Already down to a third of its hit points.
Yeah, that's
And
so
I think the
typical, right?
Mustangs have... Yeah, the Mustangs have kind of disappeared from the board, so...
Yep, that's a round win. As you predicted, not enough upshoot. And will the bubble live? Will all these units live? Looks like yes.
Could be the case. Wow, that raid in 117k damage. What a nice play by Big Bear.
Yeah.
And yeah, those spells into the unit drop exactly what he needed. Plays it correctly, and now we've equalized things as we enter
Oh,
round
the
7.
nano. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, nano level 2 worm with armor. Yikes.
Yeah, that thing heals like 6,000 per second. That is like ridiculous. But another oil is completely massive here. So maybe Big Bear will be okay. Um, what will the anti-Raiden answer be though?
I mean, I feel like he could range his Mustangs. Um, they're not the tankiest of air units, so you can kind of get away with it. But
Ooh,
ooh, I
acid
like that.
crawlers and EMP on Raiden. So some nice techs here that can make a really big difference. I mean, you shut off the armor, you shut off any, techs that might be scary, like for example, Melter Range, which could come out here.
I think
Another
it really
lone.
should,
Yeah, you gotta hit click range. I mean, the difference between Melter with range and no range is massive.
especially with these Raidens sitting at
Oh
165.
no!
Oh, what is that?
Oh no! I don't think that's very good.
Electromagnetic barrage.
We'll
That
see
is
though. We'll see.
surprising.
Yeah, no
Um,
doubt.
for the casual players in the chat, that does not hit air units, so it doesn't really do much against the Raidens here.
Yep, yep. That is. I mean, we'll see. Like, there could be tower pressure. There could be something that could happen here. But a lot of this
Saber.
is coming down to the Raidens.
There's some insta-locks happening, though. They're only level 1 marksmen, so that Saber tanking pretty well for Hanakawa.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. Some acid on the battlefield here. That's going to be extremely important
Oh,
to
that
watch
is
out for here.
sitting... Oh, that
Look
is
at the
sitting
nano.
right underneath the sandworm. Oh
Oh,
my. Just gone.
is it dead? It's dead, right? Oh my
Yep.
gosh.
And the Melter is just stuck in the oil there. Without the range, the Raiden's just absolutely crushing. Yet again. Is that enough to kill?
Oh,
4 hit points!
wow. Scripted.
I'd be surprised if it gets any closer in any of the remaining games, but I would be
Yeah.
down for it.
You can photon your worm. It protects
Incendiary
you against
bomb.
acid.
Oh. I mean, Photon is nice, yeah, but an incendiary bomb is kind of nasty with the oil still on the ground.
100%, yeah. Anti-interference module as well. Kind of interesting cards there, but the spells, of course, just a little too tempting.
The one issue, though, with that Photon is that there was already an item on that level 2 sandworm.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
so, looks like it'll be fire as well for Hanakawa here.
So, yeah, now we get the range. That was really, really important. Could be a comeback here. I mean, the range is going to make a massive difference here, but with the ground lit on fire, all the crawlers are going to go down, and then what happens? The marksmen and the Raidens may just give free reign against the giants, and there is acid on the ground, let's not forget. More Raidens being added. There are levels on the existing Raidens, but it looks like they want to go wide, perhaps cover their left tower from any infiltration.
A worm on the left here from Hanakawa, trying to use the fire on top of that worm to maybe get a debuff, but his units are quite far away from the tower, and Big Bear trying his luck as well with a missile and a Raiden on the left. Who will come out ahead? That remains to be seen, but the fire, by the looks of it, will simply land. And
Yeah,
I don't think that that favors Hanakawa in any way whatsoever.
yeah, everything's funneled to the center as well, so I think just all the chaff gets burned. So who's got the better like army that just faces each other without any chaff in the way? I mean, the acid on the ground is also huge, right?
Yeah, I mean, these Raidens just getting to hit the correct targets only now. There are more worms on the right side, but they instantly get EMP'd. More than falling left side, however. The worm does get through. How much can these melters really do in this situation?
Yeah, you have no health to play with. You really got to get the win here.
Return debuff there from Big Bear. Gets to the tower with the Raiden. It's a close affair. The worm is still alive. That level 2 healing back up from the nano will get the tower as well, but the
Oh,
melter will end up
that's it.
dying. And that's simply going to be game, sadly. The worm there doing a great job
Yeah, it's so
trying to keep
powerful.
Hanakawa in the game, but yeah, will even survive by the looks of it.
Yeah, that's
Fighting
really
for its
showing
life.
shows how much the acid was needed, right? That was a really nice call from Big Bear.
Yeah. And the fire and the oil there just doesn't leave Hanakawa a chance. Maybe he could have come back into this game, but Big Bear ends it
Yep.
on this round number 8. And yeah, well played.
Yeah, that was a cool game. I did not expect that to go aggro. I thought for sure that was standard, and then last minute they're like, "Nope, I'm going on the line," and then turned into a pretty interesting game there.
Yeah, I think the unit selection there. I mean, the double spell turn was great into the unit selection for both players. I like the worms, but the Raidens being uncontested for like 2 rounds in a row really caused some problems for Hanakawa. And yeah, Big Bear punished adequately and reaps the rewards from it.
Yep. We are joined by Taba now from our first game. What's up, Taba?
Well, the champion is here.
The champion.
The champion is here. I'm at the top of the mountain. I didn't lose. I'm not in a loser's bracket. I'm being strategic, you see. Strategic.
Yeah, the description of your player profile is really starting to make sense now.
Oh, yeah. I've been here since the 80s, back when this was just dots on a screen.
What did you think of your first game?
Well, he bamboozled me, you see. He used them underhanded tactics. He played back and then played the game. I didn't know what to do. I clicked the wrong button. I was hoodwinked and hacked. Damn it!
Perhaps a little bit of cheating happening indeed. Are you ready for your next game here in the losers bracket?
I'm ready here with the bitter one. I'm gonna make him taste the sour balls of destiny as I roll into the final. Where no one expects me to be, I'm gonna sneak up like a ninja, like an assassin, and I'm gonna take him.
All right. Well, best of luck to you. Hopefully, you can be the chosen one for the English players here. So yeah,
I'm
thank you,
Scottish, damn it! Scottish!
thank you. All right. I think we learned a little bit about our about our Taba player there. A little
Did
bit of
we?
insight.
I'm not sure if that left more or less question marks. But
yeah,
he's got the personality, you know. He's got the pep in his step.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
I hope, or at least I imagine, that that will also translate.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he's lacking confidence. I think we can say that
Not at
much.
all. Yeah. He wasn't too happy with how that first game went, but I think it might have fueled some rage.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
yeah, let's see if the sparks will fly off in this next game of his as well.
Yeah, he said he clicked the wrong button. I'm kind of curious which one that was. I should have asked him.
And there were many buttons clicked in that game.
Yeah. Yeah. So up next, he'll be up against Bitter in our loser brackets. And then the winner of that will go up against Hanikawa, who is looking pretty good. I'll be pretty curious to see how a Bitter and Teba game will look like.
Yeah, that'll be exciting. Both both players there, I think, kind of unpredictable in a way.
Yep, I might say Teba is a little bit more unhinged.
He
The
might take the crown on that one, yeah.
the
He just
interview
might.
the interview may have influenced my decision on that, but you know. No, I love the high personalities in esports. It always makes things so fun when you have somebody who's just like pumped and excited and full of energy.
It does, yeah. It really does.
Gets me hyped for some esports. All
Well,
right, we're jumping
the
into
sour
it.
balls of destiny.
Bitter doesn't have an MMR. This can't be his real account. All right, what do we think? Aggro, headbutt, standard? I'm gonna vote standard, and
I
I'm gonna
think
put my
T-Bar is
money.
gonna hit us with some aggro, but
Yeah, could be like Fang Gaming or something. You never know.
I mean
And
he's mentioned steel balls or balls in
yeah,
his player introduction. He mentioned them again just now. Kind of feel like they have to show up on the board at some point because they weren't there in his first game.
yeah, he is the undisputed Golden Ball champion
Well,
of
there
the
we go.
PB Cup. So I mean, yeah, we gotta see some aggro then. Why didn't he do it game one? What's the explanation?
I mean, he went for the fortresses. He was on the line in that game.
Yeah, he was eventually on the line. It's true. I'm gonna put my money on Bitters. I think Bitters, the only thing he did wrong was, not have elite marksman on the board, on the bar. He was trying to say that I was wrong and that he did have it on the bar, but it was definitely not on the bar. I
Let's
didn't really
clarify,
understand
ladies.
him.
It was not on the bar.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It feels like Bitter does really, really well until he just gets like one of the cards will just trick him, It's like fortified hacker pops up, he'll click it, he puts his hackers on the line. I'm like, dude, if you just stuck to your plan, like you had such a nice looking army up until that point.
I mean, let's see what these packs have got to offer because he also was fighting an uphill battle in that matchup, and
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
maybe the game will be a little bit kinder on him this time.
Yeah, that's the risk of picking cost control though. Like it's a good SBC until it's not. It is
Yeah.
there. Don't pick it, don't pick it.
Anything to your fancy?
Elite specialist for sure. Or supply
Ooh,
spec. Oh yes.
yes. Let's go. Another one. Dude, we're getting spoiled
Yeah,
tonight.
this is good.
2 elite spec games in 3 games? Are you kidding?
Yep, yep. It's really not a bad pack
Mustang
either.
Marksman. Wow. Speaking of bad packs.
Yeah, that's like it might be one of the worst possible matchups here. I mean, the Fang part is good. Like if those were crawlers, you'd be super screwed. But Arclight's coming out here for Bitter is just so much anti Mustangs, and there is no chaff here for Kba. He does not want to get crawlers or Fangs here. Instead, going for the Arclights, which is not the worst here, but I would say he already has anti Fangs with his Mustangs, so maybe the Arclights aren't super needed yet.
Yeah, normally I would agree with the Arclights if the opponent had crawlers, but yeah, with the Fangs, I gotta take your side and say maybe some chaff, some Fangs, or some crawlers would have been
Yeah,
a better pick.
yeah, probably crawlers. They're a little bit better with Mustangs, keep them safe. That's the one thing that Mustangs are bad at in the early rounds, especially. They get killed by everything. They're probably gonna get killed here.
Yeah, I mean those are level 2 Arclights. They don't take prisoners, and certainly not when the opponent is level 1 Mustangs.
Yeah, brutal.
Marksman on the left trying his best, but will get taken out by the sledges. Very similar setup from Bitters that we saw in the first game, but instead of the Stormcallers in the middle, it is now the sledges placed vertically.
Yeah, like in that center defense. Really rock
Well,
solid board.
maybe an early drop here for T-Ball could turn the
Ooh,
tide.
I didn't even see all the cards there, but two high
Wow.
quality spells. That's for sure.
Yep, we get the
More
shield
Arclights.
airdrop. and more arc lights for Bitter, and that Rhino Assault is available for T-Ball. Where is it going to go? There is definitely an open tower on the left.
Yeah, top left would be the best. Oh, that's where it goes.
That is where it goes.
Looking good. Missile to play safe there. Airdrop
Temp
is...
range again.
Oh, okay, okay. I
This
mean,
forward shield from Bitters. We're getting to see some similar tactics here from both players. The temp range, I believe, was clicked in game 1 as well, and we got the early shield again here for Mr. Bitter.
I think we can kill it. I think we're killing the shield.
Yeah, that debuff is helping out tremendously, and the marksmen are
Yeah.
doing their best.
Well, better
Okay,
trading
it
of
does
the
go
spells
down.
there. But paying 100 for that temp range, it's so hard to come back from that.
Yeah, I mean, that was a spell that cost 100, plus a missile.
Yeah, it's
Plus
still
the
not
temp
getting the round
range.
win. Like, it's not the end of the world. Like, he does have 300 money coming magically out of nowhere with his SBC. He's absolutely in the game, economically speaking. But I would like to see him be a little bit more careful with the temp range button. Temp speed is fine. 50 here and there, you know, totally fine. But your units do not need, you know, extra range this early on.
Well, the Farseer is on the board to try and turn things around, maybe. The Amp Core instantly picked up. Lovely item on the Farseer.
Yeah, for sure. There is a
But,
level 3
oh,
arc light and range.
that looks so disgusting.
Yeah, he's got
Round
the tanks in
3?
front as
There's a
well.
level 3 arc light on that board, by the way.
Oh, he has so much HP as well. 4,900 HP. Like, he is not close to losing at all. Oh my gosh, he's doing temp range as well. What the heck? Is this the low
Oh.
MMR strats? Temp, temp range early?
More Mustangs. Oh, I do not like this. These arc lights. They're getting away with too much here. You're being too nice, Mr. T-Ball.
Yeah, like one more Mustang was not the play there. You really needed like a tank for your Mustangs or just chaff or something. Or single target to kill the arc lights. At this
Well,
point he needs like hacker, like he needs something like really swingy, right?
well, we are due something swingy in the form of free units, so let's see what
Okay,
round
yeah.
4 offers.
Fortress could be good, for example. You need
I
something
don't
that
think
just kills
it
arc
can't show
lights.
up on round 4, though.
Right.
Phoenix as it is,
Okay,
for
perfect,
both
perfect.
players.
Taba really needs that, I think. Each Phoenix does just shy of 6,000, so it'll two-shot arc lights of the same color. Not the worst here. Still, like, just not enough beef in the front line, though. We have 700 money. We're buying Elite Marksman on our 2 white arc
Whoa!
lights. At least we're buying more. And Charge
And
Shot
charge shot.
against what?
I
I guess
mean,
the unit
hey,
drop.
this... You should be happy about this, no? Like, you mentioned it earlier on.
I do like it. I like it against not these units, but
I
it
mean, maybe
secures
he was
them.
expecting something big, you know? He's
Yeah,
trying to be ahead of the curve. He's like, he needs something tanky. I'm gonna click charge shot.
yeah, for sure. Must be something like that. Well, it's looking a little bit better for Taba, getting some nice snipes off, but just not enough of a front line, I think. Yeah. Still a lot of arc lights left. They are pretty tanky. They're still scaling. Few levels available.
Advanced shield device picked up there for Bitter. And we get a
Yeah.
barrier for T-Ball. What giant is he going to be picking up?
Yeah, both players just want shields, it looks like, right? Shield airdrop, advanced shield device, barrier, all these are shield technologies. What giant indeed, and will we actually buy it this turn?
I mean, he doesn't have much money left after ranging his Phoenixes.
Yeah, maybe not using it quite yet. Oh, looks like no.
Even more arc lights. And I think Bitter there, after his loss against Hanakawa, might have just taken a page out of his opponent's book in the arc light spam
Yeah,
strategy.
honestly, it's a pretty crazy tempo play. Like 3 blue arc lights with charge shot and range, staring at that undefended tower. I mean, no tower fortification on the tower, I mean. It might just get sniped. I mean, it 2 shots the tower, almost 1 shots.
And this is the power of Elite. If Elite is ahead early, it can be such an oppressive specialist to play into.
100%.
Like, you don't want Elite calling the shots.
Yeah, when the elite is causing tempo plays, it gets really nasty.
Well, range on the Mustang, so no Giant just yet.
Nope. And we also have replicate on the crawlers, and the crawlers are just dead. So I don't think that quite worked out. Maybe we can pop some bubbles though.
Those Phoenixes that were out on the left are doing a good job of defending the tower, though. And so there will be no debuff for Bitter.
Yeah, that's
The
definitely
right side
nice.
is not looking good, I have to say.
No, same story, just not enough tanks in front. The Arclight scaling a little too much here. And the shields are also really valuable.
Yeah, those advanced shields are really testing the DPS from T-Ball, and it's not passing.
Yeah. That's
Not with flying
another...
collars, not with any type of collar.
No, certainly not. Only 1000 HP left here.
Do these
Some
cards change
spells.
anything? Wasp Swarm picked up.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
just
a
little...
debuff could change things, but I don't really see a good angle for it.
Yeah, I mean, you have 2 summons here for Taba, so jamming them both in the top left along with some chaff maybe could be enough, but it's not easy for sure. Boat coming out.
Whoa!
I mean, it looks good outside of the Phoenixes. That's the problem. Maybe if you can distract the Phoenixes, you do have a Wasp summon, so you could summon the Wasp and keep them busy. In fact, he is doing that. So that could be nice. A lot of pressure on the left
Well,
tower, though. It's just going to go down, right?
yeah, Shielded Wasp coming out here from Bitter.
Yeah. Like there is a
Temp
Mustang,
range,
but...
temp speed, he's really going in for the kill.
Yeah.
Let's
Well,
see how
let's
much
see.
DHE both can do.
Well, with the tower going down, probably not much.
Well,
If
the
we had a
Phoenixes are still
tower for
distracted.
it,
Yeah,
that is-
maybe. I mean, it might recover in time, but the Wasps are making their way over, and they should kill those Phoenixes and maybe get a second tower debuff. This just looks like it's going to be too much. Does T-Ball even have enough hit points to survive here?
I don't think so.
Oh my days, dude. Mr. Bitter,
He's looking good. He's looking good.
he came back with a vengeance.
Yeah. He built Arclights, and he built them everywhere.
Wow. I mean, elite spec round 6 win.
What's up, boys?
Yo, well done. That looked pretty
Nice
convincing.
game.
Yeah, that one felt mismatched. I have to confess to you guys, I'm playing on a second account because I asked Winbig. We're planning some stuff, and it's really exciting stuff. And we're testing some formats tonight, and this is great. Y'all are doing a great job.
Thank you.
And on
Thank you.
my main account, I just left a game prior to joining this one to play in this ladder game where I was against an 1850 guy, and I was winning. And so I was about to win against 1850, and I left it to join this lobby, not so y'all didn't have to wait.
Thank you.
Got screenshots. I can prove it.
Yeah, I don't
but
trust you, so good.
I realized that I don't have like my text set up correctly, so I just put elite on my arc lights. I keep charge shot though. Charge shot is slept on. You guys are crazy if you don't think charge shot is good. That game's a perfect example of like you get in positions, especially as elite spec, where you just win by clicking charge shot, like after turn 1, because they're so far behind. And like for that last game, charge shot just wins for like 5 straight rounds. So, good luck. And I think that was demonstrated soundly.
Yeah, I might just not speak up here because well, Wonderboat does run it, but I might be a hater still. But I might have to change the text around because I run armor instead, but I can't say that it's done too much for me, and that looked
You never click armor.
very
Armor's
strong.
trash. Charge shot just ends games at times, right? Like you might take armor to put a level 3 arc light on a deep flank once in 20 games. It's just a waste of a spot. Take charge shot. Charge shot is sick, and carry arc light is not bad or dead at all. It's still super valid if you get the right turn 1.
Yeah, don't worry, Bitter. I'm with you. I got charge shot on my bar. It got buffed, right? It's 50 cheaper. Like, I mean, it's fine. I like it.
It's so sick. Sometimes you can have like a supply spec and take it turn 1 and just headbutt steel balls and win. You know, it's awesome.
All right, I'm no longer with you. No round 1 charge shotting.
Whatever.
You were
You should
looking
try
good
it.
for a moment there.
You
Just
should
kidding.
just open up your like creative side of your brain and just allow yourself to explore, and you'll find so many cool possibilities. They're everywhere in this game.
All right, I'll write that down. Yeah, let me try that later. Round 1, waste 1, deploy. Is that what I should write that down as? Okay, he left. He's mad.
Nah, you just pick quick supply, bro.
Okay. Yeah, of course. All right, well, he's feeling good about his arc lights for sure. Definitely
I mean, how
looking a
can you
lot
not?
better.
Have you seen that game?
Dude,
Jeez Louise.
Elite is so good too with arc lights. Like, that is a match
That
made in
was
heaven.
that was just nasty, man.
Yeah, no doubt. So now we got Bitter against Hanikawa. Bitter looking a bit shaky earlier, perhaps looking a bit better now. Hanikawa, I would say, looked pretty solid in every game. Just had a little bit of a rough go at the end there with the melters, not quite enough against the Raidens, but
Yeah, maybe getting a bit rattled about those spells into the drop,
he for
which can
sure.
happen to everyone. So
Yeah, for sure. Like, they were crushing, right? And then oil was picked up alongside smoke, and then oil dropped again. So even though it was supposed to be on cooldown, another one dropped, and it was just perfect because they had a ground-based army of slow units, sabers and arclights that just couldn't provide the tower pressure that they were utilizing the whole game prior.
yep. Well, next matchup. What are you expecting here?
Well, I think Bitter might go for a center defense if we can see that's the pattern he likes to do here. And Hanikawa, we know that they can do aggro. It may even be at the last moment. um, Definitely like sabers. Bitters likes arc lights. Hanikawa looked pretty good in standard as well. Like, they definitely know how to sort of do the flow chart and get themselves into a solid position. So I would say Arclight's probably going to be prominent. Hopefully Bitters does not get baited by Mustangs again, because Mustangs are just very tricky to pull off, especially against somebody who knows how to abuse how strong Arclights are right now. So yeah, we'll have to see.
Yeah, and we get a rematch here as well, right? From round 1.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
It's a bit of a storyline maybe forming, maybe some
Yep.
rivalry going
Yep.
forward.
Yep. Could be quite the comeback here for Mr. Bitter if he pulls off the whole thing.
Well, packs available. Elite
Elite.
spec. It
Yeah.
is a pack that allows you to buy arc lights, or even that wants you to buy arc lights on round 1.
Please, no cost control. Imagine it happens again. Okay. Quick supply looks great here for Hanikawa. Elite,
We get
yes.
elite again.
We are so spoiled. Big health bars on both players here.
5k is
Yeah, like,
amazing.
could be
It's
a
such a
long game.
good pack as well.
Yeah. I
Like,
really
you're
like
not
both these
really
packs.
sacrificing anything.
Yep.
Ooh.
So probably it's gonna be arc lights for Bitter here, but like, he could technically do something else like marksman, but nope, it is arc lights.
Yep.
And very defensive posture here from Hanikawa. I don't think they're going to change their mind at the last moment this time. Like, Amp Core Specialist made a lot more sense with their saber teeth. But yeah, no chaff and just going for Marksman. I cannot see them because they're hiding behind the tower, but
Yeah, they're a
they,
bit shy.
they exist, I swear.
No chaff, I like it. Probably expecting the arc lights from the opponent and needing some DPS to try and deal with the steel balls.
Yeah, and like with how far back they're building, I can imagine that the chaff will just show up too early or the wrong timing here. So I think they have a decent shot here. Of course, blue arcs are really good round 1. So we'll see. The quick supply money was used. There is an additional marksman that was placed in the center.
Well, it might help out. For now, those marksmen locking onto the steel balls on the right side. And that looks like a very easy defense
Yeah, crushed it.
for
Wow.
Hanakawa. Left side struggling, though. Crawler's still alive, and there's just a lone marksman trying to fight some steel balls as this final sledgehammer goes down.
Oh, there's crawlers too, so they definitely get the
Ooh.
tower. And the debuff will
Ooh,
let it.
debuff at the right time.
Pretty huge. I don't
The
think he gets the
return
round,
debuff.
but not bad. Look at that splash, by the way. Oh my gosh.
Ooh.
That blue arc light just cleaning up.
All the experience was picked up here for Hanakawa, though. And the
Yeah.
marksmen are close to leveling, which would make a big difference. Improved Wasp on round 2.
I feel like it's the
Oh, it
earlier
was picked up.
insane. I feel like the earlier the better with that card, right? Like round 2 is
Yeah,
a sweet time to take it, or round
it
3.
is a bit rough to get on the board because it's so expensive.
Yeah,
But
they had how much money here? They picked that card and would have 400 left, I think.
yeah, and they cost 350 with the unlock
Yeah, so one deploy
on the
wasted unless
round
you
1 thing.
sell.
Yep.
So they're not going to deploy it, it looks like.
I think it would be fine here to just wait 1 turn. He still needs chaff as well.
I agree, but I also wouldn't hate just doing it because you auto win the round if they don't get anti-air, and then it just picks up all the experience, right?
That is a fair point.
Look at this flank, by
And
the
there
way.
are, yeah, some shenanigans happening here. Deep steel ball and crawler flank.
So he took redeploy, so it's actually a white steel ball that's in the back there. He
Yeah.
did not buy a level 2 one with his elite SBC. The crawler is level 2 though, so pretty nasty to take care of. Like you might need to put a sledge in front of it or like missile it or something.
Well, or you just put an improved wasp there.
Yeah, actually really good point, yeah. And you can farm
Very
the
good flank
experience.
defense. Yeah.
Yeah, wasps are really good flank defense. Like they take a long time to kill sometimes, but they get the experience, they level, and then it's like a very easy defense.
I mean, I don't know if Hanakawa runs HE, but this would be an HE angle.
But yeah, no, for sure. I mean, when you're
Super
defending
cheap
flanks
deck.
too, it's
Yeah.
like sometimes the crawlers are just taking too long to clear on defense, and so just not needing to throw an arc light there is huge. And it's just an efficient tech. Like your DPS does go up because you're normally hitting multiple things.
Yeah, especially for something like Wasp, which has no splash
Yeah, it's huge,
base. It makes such a big difference.
100%. Well, there's the
Well, I
levels.
expect them to see them. I
Yeah,
do
me
expect
too.
to see them this round.
Shield airdrop for the flank. Are you taking it here?
Oh, yeah, I think you have to.
Yeah,
But
you have no.
Bitter disagrees.
Takes fire. He's gonna burn the right side and maybe like do
Another
nothing else.
redeploy.
Yeah, or redeploy. Ooh, look at that.
The
Yeah,
one downside is those have to spawn in again.
yeah. It's a weird play, but I kind of like it because like you can go for the ultimate bamboozle here, right? Like Hanikawa might, for example, deploy the wasp we talked about there, and then you can just slowly get completely out of the left side.
No wasps, though. Hanakawa unlocking fangs.
Yeah, so still not utilizing that card, which costed 50 compared to Skip.
Whoa.
All right, well, we heard
Well,
the interview. So,
yeah, I mean, he sticks by his word. More arcs and charge shots is the first tech clicked on round 3.
I mean, at least he's against sledgehammers. That is my favorite use case for charge shot. Though I don't think you
It
need it
is
yet.
good, yeah.
I like to take it when the sledges get out of control, you know? It's like, okay, I'm getting really owned by these sledges. Let me click this button. He's not really getting owned here. He's like keeping up in levels, even surpassing them. So I would have liked to see range
Ooh.
instead.
Pretty clutch crawlers there on the flank from Hanakawa.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
This will do a
Even-
good job at killing maybe some of these leveled steel balls.
Yeah, can it actually kill them all? I guess not, right? The marksman will go down.
Well, it should be fine.
Yeah, they'll burn up even if they get through.
Yeah, exactly. But it seems like they're just getting it done anyway.
Yeah.
Wow, level 1 crawlers. So powerful.
Yep, and how's the rest of the board looking here? There is a lot of stuff in the top left corner here for Hanikawa. The arc lights are still alive, 4 of them. Maybe with their techs they can get it done.
They do fire a lot slower, and there's still a pack of fangs left alive. Debuff, though, should help.
Yeah, great timing. one-shot the marksman. Is it?
Ooh.
Yes.
Oh, wait.
Oh
Oh, the
no!
Arclight is distracted.
Oh,
That is insane.
pretty sweet there for Hanikawa, and the experience matters too.
Yeah, the marksman now able to level up. 2 of them even.
A crawler leveled as well. I think you got to take the ball out of there. He's done. Get him home.
Ooh. Level 4 Rhino, round 4. It's a little
Oh,
bit smaller than it used to be. It used to be level 5, but that's still a scary unit to deal with.
absolutely. And I love the Phantom Rays here because they are such great flank defenders.
Yeah, love those.
You really want fast
Still,
units to defend your flank, and they are fast.
yeah, they've got pretty decent DPS on top of things.
Yeah.
I'm a bit sad though. Still no wasps.
And no anti-air for Bitter here. So those Phantom Rays are just going to get a free win, it looks like.
Yeah, that looks like to be a bit of an oversight because the
Yeah.
improved wasp was picked
Yeah,
very early
exactly.
on, and you kind of have to try and respect the possibility of air units from the drop.
Yeah, and all you need is like one Fang, right? Like in theory, just spend that one deploy, just get it over with, and then you can not automatically lose rounds.
Yep. You might need a bit more though into these level guys, but
Yeah,
getting something does help. Instead, it's range on the arc light, and I really do like this redeployment with the steel balls. It doesn't have to respawn again; it will go straight for that tower.
such a beautiful play. I really wish he was rewarded by having anti-air here. Like, I
Also,
really like
look
all
at
the
that
plays.
Rhino position. Wow,
Yeah,
top tier stuff. Locking the arc light in place.
yeah, definitely not bad.
We'll end up going down though.
Probably he just like wins the ground, but then the air just ruins his day.
Yeah, the Phantom's just DPSing away.
Won't get the bubble either, I don't expect.
That's been
Not enough
getting
time.
so much value. Winning the last
Yeah,
round.
brutal.
Big round.
Yeah, pretty big. Let's see what the anti-air of choice will be. He is elite, so he can get blue Mustangs, he can get blue Marksmans, maybe even Phoenixes. Another shield airdrop. I mean, they have been looking good for Hanikawa. We're getting speed here for Bitter. Really good on arc lights, I'd say.
Yeah, and good to make these type of aggressive plays with the Rhino. The steel balls get sold, the Rhino gets repositioned at the back of the map.
Yeah, I like that. I think like,
Absorption module instead for Hanakawa.
ooh, it's spicy. I think Bitter isn't a good spot to play a standard match. Look at that though.
Level 2 Raiden on round 5.
It could be good. I mean, they're like the
I
natural
like it.
predator of Phantom Rays, yeah, and like blue is scary too, right?
And Hanakawa, seeing how effective those Phantoms were last turn, picks up another pack of them. And that plays right into Bitter's hand here.
Yeah, 100%. Unfortunately, no absorption module for the Raiden, but it'll still be a nasty beast regardless. The Rhino as well, of course. We're getting some blue crawlers as well, really filling out his board. Yeah, I kind of like this.
Yeah, this looks nice. I think the charge shot's maybe a little bit redundant at this point as he's transitioning into Raiden as his main DPS, but
Yeah,
we'll
for
have to
sure.
see if that actually causes any problems in terms of chaff clearing.
Yeah, exactly. It's still good as long as you're not screwed on chaff clear, so we'll see. Like, the supplementary damage is great.
Field on the right side, I think, should go down momentarily.
There is a world where the Raiden just dies to the Phantom Rays, but I highly doubt it. I think with, like, the Rhino up front... Yeah, look at that. Oh.
I mean, it was made for this. Killing
Yeah.
3 of those Phantoms in one shot. The debuff, though, will come through. There's still 1 pack left alive, and maybe they can revenge their fallen brothers.
Yeah, honestly, really good debuff. We need to shoot the marksman right now. Oh, we don't get it.
Oh, the debuff.
Yeah.
Phantom's
Okay.
MVP there.
Well,
Small round,
massive.
though.
Small win, still huge HP pool for Hanikawa. And now they know what is on the table, what the game plan is.
Yep. Ooh, I kind of like the Mustangs here for Hanakawa, and he seems to agree,
Yeah.
picks them up.
Yeah, I really like them against Raidens. Like, if you go for one big thing against Raidens, you sometimes just get EMP'd. So by having a lot of small stuff be your answer, you just completely, get rid of that problem altogether. You can't really
Yep.
EMP Mustangs.
And I kind of would have liked it for bidders as well, but he picks up the melter instead and goes for more arc lights. But now some fangs are starting to hit the board, and we got to keep an eye on perhaps shielded fang at some point during this game.
Yeah, I also would have liked the Mustangs. I mean, I think the Melter can have some upsides, but they're a little niche. Like, let's say you start losing the air battle somehow, you can sell out of your Raidens. And so having the Melter sort of opens up that line. But I think the Mustangs would have been good no matter what, so.
It's also, I mean, the melter is tanky for one, but
That's true.
there's nothing really on the board before this round that justifies a melter, so I'm a little bit surprised. He does range of the Raidens though, and it seems like he's just willing to keep that melting point around for now.
Yeah, so a bit of an interesting line here.
Wow, even running it in. It's a frontline melter.
Yeah, that is... Never seen that before.
It's
Pretty interesting.
tanky. I mean, 61,000 hit points.
Yeah, I think that's actually the best way you could possibly use that unit this round, right? Probably. So, not bad here. Feels like chaff
Arc
clear
lights,
is
though.
rough. We
Yeah, the
talked
charge
about it.
shots is kind of showing its downside here.
Yep.
1.2
anti-air.
seconds of interval.
Marksmans have anti-air tech, so they are locking onto the Raidens.
And they're high level as well. Level 3, some of them even glowing, ready to be level 4.
Oof. Uh-oh. So what's the plan now? You're stuck on the
I mean,
Raidens. You gotta keep them.
yeah, there's some really scary stuff happening here. Shielded Fang would be a real worry for me
Yeah.
if I'm Mr. Bitter. He does have the fire this round, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, he could make a huge wall of fire here, and that was what was giving him trouble, right? So... Ooh. A lot of fangs.
Yeah, and we do get the Shielded Fangs from Hanakawa this turn. Let's see if he decides to shield because he knows that the fire is available and the oil was offered.
Do you think late fangs are good for Bitter's board here? I can't tell. Maybe?
Wow. That's such an expensive play. From no Fang to triple Fang shield on Elite.
Yeah.
Like, this is not ideal because those Fangs are expensive.
Yeah, that's the elite tax right there. Like, most of the time, I consider elite to be like a positive benefit. But there are some turns where I have to admit to myself I did just lose, you know, 50 bucks per. I think that's
Yeah.
one of those rounds.
Mainly Fangs. Crawlers, you
Mainly
don't
fangs.
mind too much. They can be strong at level 2. But
Yeah.
Fangs, in Standard especially, a little painful.
For sure. Plus the experience you lose, but yeah, not always so big. We do get chain researched on the Raiden. We still only have 2 of them, so not the best justification for a tech just yet, but perhaps indicating he wants to go deeper and deeper into them as his carry.
And that Melter has a range, by the way.
Oh.
So it's sticking around. The Rhino got sold, and I guess that is what funded all of these expensive techs.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, the problem with the Melter range is that, as you said earlier, there is no justification to have a Melter on your board yet. There's no super high HP target. So while it is prophylactic in case that ever occurs, I don't think it's the right tempo move. And just, it commits you a little bit too much.
At the very least, the fire will kind of help out, though. Arclight's still struggling nonetheless. There's some fangs on the right that are unscathed. And they're causing problems for that Raiden as well.
Yeah, oil do be oiling. It's painful to lose this round, though. Oof. Brutal.
Not too much damage. It is a board of only marksmen, but...
Yeah, you gotta win that round, though, right? That's your best round. Oh, more
Yeah,
spells,
the
though.
scaling is scary. Ooh, Orbital.
That's also really good here for Bitter, I think. Like, your Arclights don't really care so much. Whereas, you know, the Phantoms, the Mustangs, even the Marksmen could be juicy here. We'll see how the RNG goes. Bubbles do come out. He is respecting it. We have several Marksman levels, which are incredible here against the Raidens. And even the Arclights, honestly. I think Hanikawa's got all the tools they need, and I think just surviving and taking all these levels will get them the victory.
Yeah, even clicks the third tech. Elite on the
Wow.
marksman. Traded for elite on the Arclights from Bitter.
Yeah. That's a very powerful marksman click, though. I actually really like that. I think they have the levels to justify it, and the DPS is relevant. Like, you're almost one-shotting arc lights of the same level, so that's pretty nice.
And the Raiden, by the way, got sold on the left, even though it is
Oh
double
no,
teched.
it was just last round we took chain. Hmm. Like, it might be the right call in theory, right? Like, there is just so much anti-air, but it means you probably should not have teched that second tech, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, like, he sold the Rhino for it, and maybe he can get away with it, but it's gonna take some time here to kind of transition the board to maybe what Bitter has in mind.
Yeah,
Needs a couple more Shielded Fangs to kind of make up for the cost of that tech. Probably needs some different chaff clear as well, because those
yeah,
Shielded Fangs on the opponent's side are not dealt with.
yeah, for sure. Like, having fire would be so nice. The Bombard not really helping out yet. The shields are doing quite a good job. It's gonna break now. We only got a few shots left, and nope, no hits.
Now, I do think we are due a free unit round either next turn or the turn after, round 9 or round 10.
Yeah,
Maybe,
maybe
just maybe, some like,
Vulcans?
yeah, Vulcans, Fire Badgers, just anything
Yeah.
could help Bitter. And he's doing well. I mean, right side is pushing in, and
Oh.
even getting the tower debuff there.
Oh, if the timing was just a little bit better, that would have been crushing. Instead, another slight loss, I guess.
Yeah, those Fangs unable to keep up with the rest of the army, so the big guys will fall, and the Fangs will die last.
Feels like Bitter has potential, but it's really hard to say. Here are the units, but nothing. I guess like Worms are probably the best for both players, but I think Bitter was looking for some sort of premier chaff clear unit. Tarantulas,
I
of course,
mean,
are good, but
Tarantula, it's a
yeah,
big
not.
investment, but
I don't think you can do it in a spot like this. Like, they're better in aggro, because like there's these super long range marksmen that deal almost like 20k. So
yeah, you're right. I mean, late aggro, maybe?
yeah, yeah, maybe. The Worms are definitely
It
like the
is
safe
tough.
choice. Yep. Arclight levels, that's huge. Really huge. Mustang AP getting a little bit more DPS on his Mustangs. He does have enough of them to justify it to some extent, but I don't know if Mustang DPS is really what his composition needs.
Yeah, it feels a little bit unnecessary. I don't think it particularly helps all that much with the Fangs, but
Yeah, I feel like the best investment for Hanikawa here might just be something related to worms. Like, bubbles don't seem
yeah.
to cut it because the charge shot is just dealing so much damage, and you have to worry about splash to some degree. Worms are a lot of HP per health, so might be the way to go.
They
'Cause that,
are, and we get 4 worms in the middle, 2 level 2s picked up next to the level 1s from the drop, and replicate as well.
yeah, what a spicy play from Bitters here. Curious to see how that'll look. They should all just run down the middle here, whereas they're on the outsides here for Hanikawa.
Yeah, I think Chaff Clear is still a bit of a problem for Bitter, but the marksman from Hanakawa will definitely be put to the test against this army of sandworms.
Yeah, and they are spawning worms or larvae, so
Wow, but look at those level 1s just instantly deleted.
yeah. But Arclights are so tanky, maybe they can get it done here. The marksman's,
Marksmen are hitting hard, though.
yeah, there is tower pressure on the right side here. If Bitters loses that, the debuff, oh, he doesn't even need the debuff. Oof.
Much
Last
stronger
limbs.
round from Hanakawa.
Yeah, that was pretty convincing. Maybe the worms were a little bit better for him, perhaps the Mustang tech looking good. Nano kit, perhaps? I mean, acid. It's kind of interesting. Acid in the middle
Picked
here
up.
for Hanikawa.
Yeah, Nano may be good for Bitter, but doesn't want it. Goes for the
Going for late
underground instead.
crawlers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. And the acid, where do you think the acid's going? I think it should go on their side, like in the middle. They're going for no man's land
Yeah,
with it.
somewhere in the middle makes sense, but we can
It's a
already see
little.
a beacon in the making. Bitter playing around the acid, I presume.
Yeah, I think so too. That's pretty cool. Maybe all in on one side. Doesn't go to the outskirts, kind of just in front of the tower here. Yeah, everything's on the left, basically. You know, when you do a play like that, you really got to fortify your right tower. Debuff of 9 seconds is just completely unacceptable. So we'll see if he goes for that or not. I would do, personally, at least 2 tower fortification levels, but yeah, probably just 2, but 3 is kind of tempting.
Well,
Double
he
shot
heard
marksman.
you.
Oof. Yeah,
Level 3 tower outside, and the Raidens, one of them that was sold, are now picked up yet again on the left. Bitter going all in, it feels like.
just the amount of bubbles is insane.
Oil plus acid.
Yeah, those worms are dead. But they're not
I
in there,
mean,
so it's fine.
yeah. I mean, the oil doesn't really do anything against them because if they're moving, they're underground and unaffected. But
Yeah.
anything else get caught in there, it's dead.
Let's see how long the tower holds up here. There is a decent amount of DPS there. Got worms alive. They are tanking for the Raidens and the Arclights. Melter not looking very good. Tower goes down. We get the tower back. We do. We don't
Arclights
shoot
fighting
up
for their
though.
life. Yeah, Phantoms here, I think, will close it out. 495 is required. It'll be much more than that.
Dang, that ends the run of Bitter. Hanikawa gonna go up into the finals there with Big Bear.
What a game.
Yeah, pretty spicy. I think Bitters look pretty good, but just there's a lot of close rounds that just couldn't be closed out.
Yeah, I
Sad.
Ah, Bitters, this was a close one. Like, you were scaling, but you just couldn't get it over with the Raidens.
I couldn't figure out what to do about the marksman. I just didn't have an answer.
They scaled really hard, yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty tough. Hmm. I
Yeah.
I
like
think
the
the
worms.
shielded fangs were causing some
I,
problems as well.
I definitely got cute in the beginning and was trying to show off a little bit, and then he just set up his board and got into a great position. And I'm elite, so I can't really afford to be cute like that. I don't think. Um, but I don't know, man. I really thought I played the early game super well. I missed something in the middle where the marksman came, and I just got fucked.
Yeah, your early game was awesome. Like, you had so many good plays. You made him stretch his resources thin. I think you really needed anti-air on that one round. Like, you saw he took improved wasp and it was like round 3 or 4, still no anti-air. And the other criticism I'd have would say the melter. The melter, like, he didn't have any big HP unit on the board. So I would have liked like a cell or just taking something else.
When I took that melter, my intention was to eventually sell it, and then I just got in this position where I was like, "Fuck, what do I do?" And yeah, there were many times that game where I was like, "I wish I had Vulcans." Also, I took charge shot very early again because I was like trying to prove it, and then I got fucked up.
It looked
So that sucked.
fine. Like, it hurt
Uh,
your chaff clear, but it looked all right.
yeah, and I needed it for the chaff clear. Like it was not that was not the game for it.
Fair enough. I mean, you're
Or
popping bubbles with it,
yeah.
which was nice.
I mean, it's
They're
sick. It
really,
really is. It really is good. It's worth another look from you guys, but
yeah, yeah,
maybe it's not as good as I'm saying.
yeah,
Anyway, that was super fun. I feel like that was a really well matched opponent,
yeah.
and I appreciate the games. Those were great. I'm looking forward to the finals.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for the interview, and you know, yeah,
Thanks for the entertainment.
yeah. All
Those were some
right.
epic games.
Well, it is a
But it
201
doesn't end
versus
there.
201.
The
501 in
best
shambles.
region? Question mark?
At least in this 1500 bracket of totally non-uniformal players.
Yeah, we still have our champion Sacco
Yeah,
with the pros.
yeah, he's looking good.
All right, so Hanakawa versus Big Bear.
Yep.
We've seen this matchup before. Big Bear took it then.
Yeah, that game was one of the cooler games. That's the game that went down to 4 HP, right?
Uh, yeah.
Yeah, I
Think
think
so.
so.
Yeah. But it didn't end up mattering.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely they seem like they can put up interesting games, fairly equally skilled, I would say. Like I couldn't tell if the victory was mostly caused by the spells or sort of an error in ways. I mean, the barrage on the melter was definitely not a good moment. Um, but I mean, otherwise, like a lot of good plays. So
Yeah, and I mean, Bitter just talked about it in the interview as well, but sometimes like you just get overwhelmed. Like you've got so many options, so many units to choose from, and you're like, you just can't figure out what you need to do in those 90 seconds that you have. And yeah, I
yeah,
mean, we've all been there. It can be stressful. Now I'm
yeah,
wondering, what is Hanekawa going to go for here? I think he looked more solid in standard, but obviously there's a bit of bias there because he won those standard games. Um, but maybe he wants to try and redeem himself and play some aggro. We'll have to see.
yeah. I mean, Hanekawa's pressure looked so good, like with those saber teeth, the arc light staring it down. I wouldn't mind them trying it again. Maybe just maybe changing sides a little bit more, attacking both sides, being mindful of the spells.
Yep. Yeah, I would love to see another try at aggro, but let's see what the packs have to offer.
Hmm. Well, there's balls, there's sabers.
Oh, nice pack pickup from Hanekawa there. One of the strongest in the game, I would say, but low hit points.
Yeah, really low hit points, but you get the tempo back pretty quickly. Like you typically don't lose too much HP in the first 2 rounds, especially with Crawler Saber. So
And looks like we might get a bit of a run back
same
as
side as well.
Hanekawa. Yeah, same side, asymmetrical saber aggro there.
Yep, definitely very familiar here. The crawlers, I like the position. I like that they're not in front. You're really in the current meta, especially. I feel like you don't want to have all your crawlers just run into arc lights. So I'd
Yeah,
like for them to leave it
especially
there.
on the round one with the quote unquote fake line.
Yeah,
Better to kind of wait out that round two and then be able to position your units closer to your opponent.
yeah, for sure. And arc lights, of course. Now, arc lights aren't an automatic thing against fangs, especially when you're playing a little bit back from the front of the line here. Those arc lights will take a long time to go and kill those fangs. So sometimes I'm a little afraid of using arc lights like this. Like I'll still buy them, but I'll either put them way too high or I'll have them defended with like a screening crawler. You can see one is getting targeted here.
Yeah, you're always a bit apprehensive of, is my opponent going to go for Shielded Fang at some point? Should I just go for Mustang? But they still do all right. As long as there's no shields, the Fangs are kind of the same as Crawlers.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, one Saber lost, but the debuff does come through. Are we going to get a same type of result here with the Stormcrawlers clutching it? I'm not sure. There's some Crawlers getting underneath the gun line.
Yeah, it looked fine until those pesky crawlers.
Yeah, and the Saber's still alive. Crawlers looking for more, wants some of that tower experience.
Yeah, Saber will
Saber
definitely take
should
it
be
down.
able to clean it up.
Crawler level could be annoying. We'll see.
Yeah, round one here, going to way of Hanekawa. And immediate free units.
Well, they liked the Mustangs last time, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's should be good here in theory against the Fangs. I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah, I'd like it for Hanikawa. Yep, that is good to
Picks it up.
see. Big Bear turning up the spice. We got a air flank here with the Phantom Ray. That's pretty hard to defend, right?
Yeah, solid pickup. I like it. The Rhino would be another option if he just wants to try and have a go at the Tara, but Phantom's presumably hard to deal with. There was no anti-air on the board for Hanekawa, and Mustangs
Yeah.
can struggle against Phantom, especially with the loadout. Although no armor on that tech bar, and
Oh,
instead range
wow.
enhancement is there.
Yeah, good catch there. I think both were interesting unlocks. Like, ooh, Mustang gonna defend this, by the way.
Ooh,
That's
nice
that's gonna be
heads-up play.
juicy. Not all of them are running left arrows, say. I think they all will, though, right? Well,
Uh,
we're still
I'm not
positioning it.
sure. There's some weird like targeting spots behind the tower.
Oh, a crawler. Okay. The Mustang should most likely lose now. They're all going there though, so we'll have to see. Mobile beacon. Okay. Distract the Stormcallers. Sentry missile coming out. Actually pretty well placed, right? Look at the sentry
And
missile.
this should get some good value.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh. Huge.
Good spot from Big Bear.
It should
And
win
yeah, left
against the
side
Mustangs,
struggling.
right? Or maybe not. It's gonna be close. I think he's got it.
Oh, they should have the tankiness, but it'll take a while.
Yep. Well.
Meanwhile, main board for Big Bear.
Convincing
Simply
win.
cleaning house.
Yeah, a lot of things happened at once there. Like, we got a free marksman from our SBC. We did the sentry missile, which was complete money.
What round are we on?
Round 3.
Hanakawa's at sub 2500, by the way.
Oof. Yeah, that's not a lot. The Farseer needs to do some work. Probably going to the flank defense.
Well, if he wants to go for more flanking stuff, yeah, Big Bear picking up quick teleport there.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, look at
Both
all
the
the crawlers. Those crawlers are all exposed for, like, getting pulled, right?
Yeah. Wow, I mean, the whole gang shows up on the top left corner. We've got a marksman and an arclight added to the flank as well.
I, like, the Arclight I can somewhat understand. The Marksman, though, that's just going to get missiled.
Yeah, that is a value missile if I've seen one. And Big
Yeah.
Bear should know, because he got one last turn.
Yeah. Oof. Well, perhaps a bit of a throw here. I mean, we'll see. It's just there's not much you can do to protect it, right? Like, you can try and buy a bubble unit, I suppose.
Yeah, but
Oh, we
do
got
even
another
have
flank,
space
by the
anymore
way,
to protect. Yeah, we've got the wasps and the crawlers from Hanakawa.
which looks good. Should probably get the tower. I don't know
Yeah,
if it'll
that
get it.
should get in, no problem.
Yeah, so might get the tower before the other player gets the tower here.
I don't think that they're getting the tower on left side. There's a Farseer back there now as well from Hanakawa's specialist, so
Well, yeah. The crawler wasn't there when I said that. I felt it was interesting before the crawler was there. But maybe not. Maybe it was just crushing like you'd think. Two sentry missiles here for Hanikawa on the main battle line. Taking care of those fangs. Not much chaff left. Might collapse on the tower here. Farseer is winning the flank against the marksman and the arclight. The wasp crawler flank gets in here for Hanikawa.
and a nice push into tower on the right side.
Yeah, pretty convincing there.
This was his tempo round, keep in mind.
Two
Specialist
missiles,
now used,
Farseer.
but
Yeah.
yeah. At the same time, that flank you can't really sell out of for Big Bear, so
No.
that's a lot of resources potentially wasted as well.
Like, you can sell out of it, it's just it takes, like, friggin' half the game, right?
Yeah, you'd really love a redeployment if you want to get out of there.
Yeah.
Improved Wraith to
Interesting.
pick up for Big Bear.
I feel like Wraiths do need attack. Like, it's often a stat they're missing. So it is valuable. Oh my gosh, HE.
Whoa.
That does one-shot everything there. Should just clean it up. I mean, it's kind of good against everything on the board, except for the tanky units, like the Sabers.
Yeah, it should be a chaff-clearing monster. And, well, top left, Hanakawa
There's
is
the
using
missile.
that missile.
Yep, he's got a defense enhancement, so at least the Arclight lives to take like a few shots before it dies, maybe. But yeah, that looks completely brutal. Maybe they should focus on the main battle line, but they are adding more to the flanks.
Yeah, and speaking of the main battle line, it really hasn't changed all that much.
No, not too much. Like, just Arclight levels,
Battle has-
range.
Yeah, that's about it. The real battle seems to be fought on the flanks right now, although the Wasps have been retrieved.
Yeah, just it feels like a better distribution of army here, like knowing when to sell of your flanks, you know?
Yeah, and that Wraith is just in no man's land, kind
Yep.
of looking around itself like, why was I put here exactly?
There is a Farseer to take care of it, so I don't know if it has much staying power either.
Keep in mind, I mean, it got more range recently, but it also became a bit slower, so catching up to the main
Yeah,
fight, definitely more difficult now.
true, yeah. And he's committed to it. I mean, he teched it. It's not the most expensive tech, but still, you kind of want to stay in wraiths now. You took the card, you unlocked it, you took the tech. So maybe he's got to start like flanking with them or putting them in his main army.
Subsidized arc lights.
Hmm. Wonder where they're going to put the arc lights. Maybe one to defend the flank. Maybe, I don't know.
I
Just
mean,
main
when they
army.
only cost 50 at level 1, you could just kind of toss them around.
Yeah, really efficient. Yeah, one is defending the flank there, killing that Fang pack. Vulcan coming out, gonna hold the heavy armor, I imagine. Just to kill all the crawlers in the main fight, kind of defend the tower as well. There are blue sabers staring it down, so it's not invincible.
Yeah, Big Bear kind of collecting all the Chaffner units, it seems like. We've got range arc lights, HE Wraith, and range Vulcan now as well.
That is true. Lone temp range as well. Big tempo coming out. Might be afraid of getting one shot here. Also subsidized Stormcaller I completely missed, but Honeykawa took that. Maybe just pocketing it in case it becomes good.
More arc lights being purchased as well here for Big Bear.
Yep, and we sold the Phantom Ray in the top left. So getting out of that flank definitely feels bad, but if they can start winning the main battle, they have a chance.
It at least feels like the correct play to make, realizing that the flank there is kind of lost, trying to refocus on the main fight.
Yeah, hopefully it works out for them. They do still have like oil they could buy at some point. They do have pretty big single target with the Stormcallers and the Marksman.
Vulcan, though, not
Stuck.
shooting out what you'd want it to.
Brutal. Yeah, the Marksman was not coordinated with it. Stormcallers are coordinated, but it's taking a long time. Tower's gonna
One
go
of the
down.
Saber, yeah, does end up going down, but
Yeah, oh, the Wraith. Oh, the timing, the poor Wraith.
yeah, that Wraith is not having a good time. Another solid round here from Hanakawa.
It's almost game there. Good thing they loaned in temp ranged. I think that would have they would have been dead otherwise.
Yeah, no, does not take his foot off the gas here, Hanakawa. And I think he smells blood. Might be going in for the kill. Can he close things out on round 6? We'll have to see. Rhino Assault picked up for Big Bear. Can he get a debuff? Or maybe a Rhino Javelin? Another Vulcan at least picked up.
Yeah, makes sense. And we have
Oh,
absorption module.
oh
Oh
my days.
my gosh.
Well, that's what we were creating space for on the top left flank.
Of course. I mean, we
A
have quick
Vulcan.
telly. The
Yeah, quick.
Rhino drop.
We are getting value out of that card.
Yep. Definitely
It
not
might be tough to
anti-value.
kill as well. It might be tough to kill. There's not too many like high DPS units
Yeah.
there.
No, for sure. Maybe like the Farseer levels and helps a bit, but I agree. I mean, there's a Rhino coming as well. The main battle, though, look at this Sabertooth with the absorption module.
That looks scary. This marksman needs to do a lot. And last round it only did 954 damage. So
Yeah, we got War Crimes now, which it's nice, and it might help the Marksman shoot the right target, but that Marksman does 7,000 per shot, and the Saber has almost 70k HP. Like, that just takes too long, and then the thing has absorption module. I think this flank has to do a lot. You might need a debuff here, and that Wraith sitting in the corner is so sad. That's 250 resources and the tech and the unlock.
the Sabres, though, have been given secondary armaments. We even get to see the new tech in this game. I'm excited for it. How much can it do? Vulcan, though, wow. Fantastic incendiary, just burning up everything, and that Farseer is not leveled. Might simply end up dying. There's nothing to deal with the wasps, though. Marksman trying his best, but will fall.
Boom. Vulcan dying.
Oh, but with the Farseer dying on the flank, there is no anti-air left to deal with the Wraith.
Just the Wasp, which is surely not enough.
Yeah, that's the one thing this Wraith can deal with the HE, is going to be those Wasps.
Can it
And
kill
so,
everything, though?
60 sec, surely. I mean, it needs to kill everything except the Saber.
Yeah. Okay, okay. He's good, he's good.
Is that exactly what's going to happen? I think it is.
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
Well, we got 4 hit points. We're going to get 24 now.
It's scripted, I swear.
Last time, though, it didn't bode well for the player with the low hit points. Let's see if Big Bear can rewrite that story.
True, true. It's
Well,
looking
3
dicey.
units. That is a good...
Yeah. I feel like we need an answer to this big saber. And now there's worms to back it up.
Yeah, we
I don't know
do.
if
Ooh.
typhoons are going to be enough. Like, as you
Well,
said, we
we
already have all the
were...
chaff clear.
Yeah, we were collecting them. So,
Gotta
I mean,
catch them
on
all.
that front, we're looking real good.
Yep. Oh, these worms are going to be so nasty. There was already a single target issue with Big Bear's board, right? And now there's worms, like the second most tanky unit in the game. Like, oh my gosh.
Well, at least if he doesn't click armor, maybe we're fine.
Oh,
Okay, he
oh.
does go for Melter. He does go for Melter. I like that.
Yeah, that has potential.
Anti-air Typhoons, though.
Yeah.
There's one Wasp pack on the field.
The tower defense for Hanikawa in the flank looks pretty solid, so I think it will come down to the main battle here. Lone temp range for both players here.
Wraith has gotten a level, by the way.
Yeah, nice insurance. It could happen again. No bubbles here for Big Bear. They're pretty good in the later rounds. Let's see.
Oh, but that shield is nasty. Vulcan
Yeah.
insta-locks in onto it.
Yeah, it's such a good bubble. That's why I had no fear for that flank.
Typhoons will clear all but one Wasp, it looks like.
Oh, the Melter has no range, by the way.
It doesn't. We'll just fall to the level 3 Saber.
Oof.
The worms are now getting in.
I think it's up to the Wraith now.
Yeah, I think we might be asking a bit too much of it, though. That Farseer is still alive.
Yeah.
And yeah, that'll be no problem whatsoever.
Well, that is Hanikawa with the reverse comeback because the Big Bear took him down earlier, but loser's bracket all the way to winning the event. Nicely done.
Congrats.
Congrats. That is, I believe, $70 going towards them. Yes. And $30 there to Big Bear. So nicely done, 201. They are the king of the 1500s and lower.
And
Def-
great games from Hanakawa as well. It wasn't like one strategy only, showcasing both his prowess in standard and aggro. Lost one game on aggro, but unfazed runs it back and proves that he does have it in him.
Yep.
And yeah,
All
well
right.
deserved.
We're going to close things out with a little promo here from Teba. Take it away.
Well, 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 who's standing tall at the end of it? I'm still the champion. Look at it! Look at it from the upside down perspective. I was playing 8-dimensional chess while you were only playing on 2. How's that feel? How does it feel to know that I have outsmarted you all? And I was hoodwinked by that damn Smurf. God damn it, he faked his account. He bamboozled us all. But he failed to fire and justice. Much like my sanity and my check. But I'm coming back, and I'm coming back strong, because I am the 24/7 intergalactic hyperdimensional homeless hobo champion of the world and the galaxy. Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah, definitely more question marks. I was doubting it before, but more question marks.
All right. Well, that was something. So, as far as MAG1 goes, so first of all, please drop us a follow. We have another event coming up on Saturday. Rooster, you are in fact playing it, right?
I am, yes. I am.
Def- Good luck to you. So you're gonna go up against
Thank you,
Steel
thank you.
Sane. There is Tungdill in there, and there is Flower Fairy. Flower Fairy, of course, an absolute monster. Very scary group, I have to say. But you definitely got a chance, and that'd be pretty sweet if you made it. Closing thoughts on the day. It was really nice to see something so different from what we're used to. I was asking, what is their meta like? Are the plays completely different? And I would say so. Um, yeah, what did you think?
I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. Exciting
100%.
games. We got to see a bit of everything. Arclights, we did see them, but we saw some different things as well. Not just the normal like range arclights. We saw charge shot a bunch. I think we saw just about every unit in the game, maybe apart from something like War Factory being picked up. A bunch of cards being taken and then used as well. I mean, the improved fortresses left a mark on that first round. Improved overlords even in the same game.
Yeah,
Such exciting stuff. And yeah, I'll be looking forward to more events like this if they happen to take place. It's lovely to see the casual players, which are, the bigger part of the player base, kind of get this spotlight. And I've
yeah,
thoroughly enjoyed it.
100%, 100%. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Have a good night. Bye bye.
Good night, everyone.